on
The list.
Instagram. So let's get started. This is the PokerCraft podcast on Live at the Bike. I am your host, D22 Soso Wayne Chung. This woman needs no introduction. It's Kelly Minkin, aka my favorite Machine Gun Kelly. I was hoping when you came on Live at the Bike, you would do Rap Devil, the song.
Really?
No. I mean, that would have been awesome. No.
Should I? Okay, so
If you
I
could,
have something
yeah,
to
that would
tell
be
you.
great.
I have
Sure.
something. So for those of you who were at the World Series this summer, like one of the days, I think it was day 3 of the main event, I did the shuffle up and deal. And when I think it was Jack wrote me and said, it was Seth, and he said, "Hey, do you want to do the shuffle up and deal?" I'm like, I have to do something that's unique
Right.
and cool and stands out a little bit from like the average, like, oh, whatever story, and then shuffle up and deal.
Sure.
So I decided to write like a little rap. So I wrote this rap, and I tried to get the crowd to start clapping,
Yeah.
and it was just like, it was offbeat, and it threw me off, and then I forgot a line, and it was tragic. But hopefully they invite me to do it again, and I'll come back I'll have time to prepare it, because I literally prepared it the night before, and I'm gonna
So you're not going to
spit
do it
some
here?
rhymes. No. I need time. I'm like, now I'm shy now because I messed up. Like my debut, I messed up. I was like, I choked.
So everybody from the 702, when she goes to WSOP, cheer and don't boo.
Exactly. Well, no, I don't think it won't be bad. It'll definitely be good, especially now that I'll have time. Maybe I'll have some backup dancers. Let me know what you guys think. Well, bring up the chat. What's everyone saying about this?
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
Come on, guys. Press the one, smash that like button if you want
Oh
Kelly
my God,
to...
the PokerCraft jinx. If I get jinxed and I lose on Wednesday, I'm coming after your ass.
Don't do that.
I'm coming
No,
after you.
no.
And the
Legally
chat,
or like physically or...
physically and emotionally.
Yeah, that. I don't think you can hurt me emotionally. You could try
I
that.
100% could.
Really? What would you do?
I can't tell you.
Okay. Then I'd be ready for it.
hmm
Chat's going nuts. But no, let's get in the thing. People want to hear about you. So I Googled you a little bit, but tell us the Kelly Minkin story and how you got into poker.
Kelly Minkin story in a nutshell, because I can't tell you the whole story.
Sure.
But I am one of 3 children. I have 2 brothers.
Okay.
And so I grew up in a very like competitive atmosphere. I played a lot of sports. I kind of felt like I had to compete with the boys always. And my brother was really into poker. And so we bonded over that. And I remember he lived in LA, and I was still living in Phoenix. And when I'd come out and visit, he would be like, "Let's go to the casino." So I actually came to the Bike and Commerce were like the first places I played live.
What year was this?
This was, God, 2010 maybe?
Okay.
Like I just would come and play. He'd give me a couple $100 and I'd play 1-2 limit or something like that. Like
The
I had
3-5 no limit, the $2, $4
or
limit?
1-2 limit.
$1, $2 limit.
$1, $2 limit.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how I started. I'd like go and play, and I was like, "Oh, this is so fun."
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to no limit, and I was like, "This
It's
is
over.
way better."
It's over.
And then yeah, I was like, "I could do this. I could fuck people up." Hey, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Oh no, you're gonna get sued.
Okay.
Kelly's beyond character. Beyond character.
Beyond.
You know Garrett is from Arizona, right?
We went to U of A. We bonded over that.
I didn't even know
So
that.
I have a really funny Garrett story.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, and Garrett may or may not remember this, but I went to play 1020 at Commerce, and I get to the table, I have my little rack, and, you know, the seat opens, someone's like, "I want that seat." So I'm like, all right. So, you know, that person takes a couple minutes, moves their stuff. I go to sit down at that open seat, and someone's like, "I want that seat." And I was like, okay, this is kind of annoying, but whatever. So they take a couple hands, move their stuff. I'm literally like standing there like a dumbass with my chips like in a rack standing there. And then another person goes, "No, I want that seat." Like I'm about to sit in this 3rd seat, and someone's like, "No, I want that seat." So now I'm like annoyed.
So they're seat blocking you hard.
Yeah, so it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I've never had anything like this happen. So Okay, so I'm about to sit in the fourth seat, and then Garrett's like, I want this seat. And I lost my mind. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Did
Like,
you
is
bite
this
his head off?
I thought it was a joke.
Mm.
I honestly thought he was just doing that to like tease me. And then he lost it. He was like, oh, this is it, blah, blah, blah. And like starts yelling at me, and like we kind of get into it. And I was just like, okay, I don't know where to go because like Garrett got really aggressive and he's kind of intimidating. So I'm like, So I sit down and we play, and I don't remember what happened, but nothing of consequence. And then a couple days later, Garrett approaches me. I'm like walking around the room, and he's like, I'm sorry about that. He's like, can we be friends? I was like,
I could
yeah.
just picture because what
But
the
I really respected the fact that like whatever happened, whether he was in a bad mood or like I set him off somehow, like he came to me like out of nowhere and was like, hey, like I apologize for like if I came at you crazy, but like I know you went to U of A, so we can be cool. I was like, all right.
what
So we're best friends since then.
what the audience doesn't actually know is like Garrett's like evolved since then. Like this was like
Yeah.
almost 10 years ago. Like the who he was,
Right,
it's
right.
like,
This is a
it's
while
different,
ago,
right?
right?
And then now he's not as like polished and gentleman as he is today. Like back then he was like kind of a
Oh
young
yeah, he was
Thundercat
hood.
scrapper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He didn't give a
But people
fuck.
don't know that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so then I I Googled you. I was like, okay, so you have a story. You were first into science, right? And then you went to law, and then
Oh yeah, yeah,
dropped that
yeah.
for poker, and then now you're back in law. So
So
go
yeah,
through
so
that.
ever since I was little, I always wanted to be a surgeon. And I felt like I had this idea that I could be really good at that because I've always wanted to help people, and I have like an artistic side of me that I felt like I could incorporate into surgery that a lot of people who are um, interested in science like don't have. So my entire life, I was always on track to go to medical school and become a doctor.
I read that.
My undergraduate degree was in molecular and cellular biology at the University of Arizona,
Shout out to MCB.
MCV. And I really enjoy just being challenged because in that atmosphere, it's highly, highly competitive. You can't just like skate by. I don't really know what other people's experience is in college, but I rarely went out. I like almost never drank. I was a nerd. Like I studied all the time. I didn't go to parties. I like really was focused on my studies and still struggle to like do well because it was like the
It's
smartest of
hard,
the smartest people are in those fields.
right?
And so it
What
was
do you think
stressful,
about
but
poker? What do you think about poker, huh?
well, so poker is similar in that way, but like this is like a whole nother level, like
Right.
of competitiveness, like because it's about just your ability and how much effort you put into it is like almost directly correlated with the result. Some not like poker, like a lot of variance and other factors come into like your success in poker. So, from that aspect, like I loved being driven by that, but it got to a point where it was so important to me that I was almost intimidated by it. And so when it came to it was my senior year and I was supposed to be studying for the MCAT and getting ready to apply to medical school, I just kind of froze. And I ended up procrastinating and didn't take the MCAT and then
I've
procrastinating
heard
and
this story
put it on
many
and on and
times.
on. And eventually I was like, I remember walking in like the student section of the school. I forget what it's called, the mall or whatever. And the Kaplan course had like a free LSAT test.
Mm,
And I remember hearing that this LSAT was like akin to a IQ test.
okay.
And so like I had this weird thing about like getting into Mensa and stuff when I was in college, but I like never got in. But I did go and like take the test and
You're
stuff.
still young. You can still get in.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying like at this time, I
Oh, okay,
had this
got it.
thing about like being in the smart club.
Right. Right.
So I took this LSAT to kind of gauge like if I was actually really smart.
Hmm.
And they were like, "Yeah, you can, you can get into law school right now. You don't have to do anything." I was like, "Wait, what?"
What was your score?
It was a 153.
That
Just
was
when I took it
160,
cold.
right?
Huh?
Was it at a 160? 153 at a 160?
No, no,
What's
it's
the
out
max
of
score?
180.
180, okay.
So like
But that's
anything
enough to.
above 150 is like, okay, you're decent enough to get into law school, and anything above 160 is like you're good.
Hmm.
Um, and so I got a 153 without studying or doing anything, so I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
So I was like, this is a way of me procrastinating taking
The
the
MCAT.
MCAT. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do this for a year. If it makes sense for me, I'll continue it. And I liked that it was only 3 years, as opposed to like if I went to medical school and then like did a residency and like an internship, and I
Right. Right.
wanted to specialize in surgery, it would be like years and years and years. Wow, that's aggressive.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Um, and
Guys,
so,
what came on my computer was this like
no sex for weeks, it said.
ad. Yeah, so they got me. The viruses got me, or I type some search or
The
click something.
viruses.
Yeah,
You know these ads are tailored to like what your
I know my
web
search
searches
is
are.
right.
Uh-huh.
I was searching Kelly Minkin. What does that say? Anyway,
But yeah, so
don't troll me. I'll troll you straight back.
oh, we could go toe to toe, buddy. I am the queen troll.
Okay. Well, anyway, we want to go to the law school stuff. So,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah.
So I ended up going to law school, and once I was in law school, honestly, I was like, wait a second.
You're like Mike McDermott. You'd rather play some cards?
No, I was just like, this is way relative, and I think people get it misconstrued when I say like law school was easy, but like relative to like how rigorous the coursework was in like pre-med, it was
It was
easy.
easy.
It
Yeah.
was easy. So I was like, okay, and I felt like I had a leg up on everyone else because I had this background in science where like other people are like political science or like what's criminal justice or history where like you don't like when you're in a science like rigorous science background, you're taught to think a certain way. That's like
Yes,
you
that is
use
true.
logic and reasoning and like deduction to like come to conclusions that when you go to law school, you're like, "Oh my God, this is like I have the secret sauce, you know?"
Hmm.
So because of that, I was like,
It was easy.
I just didn't spend as much time like on the things I didn't think were important to succeed. So like reading, for example, I would just like strategically read. If there was 100 pages, I'd spend 20 minutes like looking for the important stuff, which like works,
It's
but like
professional.
yeah,
It's
it's
professional.
professional for sure. And then I just go to the casino and play poker.
So it was like rounders. Except
Yeah,
you did finish your degree though. I saw
I
that.
did. I finished my degree. I took the bar immediately. I remember actually I was in at the World Series. It was my first World Series. No, it was my second. And I was studying for the bar like at in the room at the Rio. And then like when I would take a break, I'd go play like a sit and go or something.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I
So be honest. What was the percentage of sit and go to study? Was it like 90-10? Or you really
it
were
was like
studying?
50-50. No, I will say like for the bar, that was the one time I did really buckle down and study and
Okay.
that shit was hard. The
That's what
bar
I've
is
heard.
hard.
That's what I heard.
Like law school, you can do it
Right.
with like skating by. The bar you cannot skate by. You need to know the information. So, yeah, that was intense. It was intense.
It was California bar too. Or
It was Arizona.
okay.
Yeah, Cali bar is aggressive. It's
Right.
3 days. Like I thought 2 days was a lot, but yeah,
It's rough. It's rough times.
rough times. I remember after I was like, if I don't pass this time,
You're like, "Uff this."
I may do something else. Because it was just so much for me. It was, and I think it was partially also because like I kind of slacked the entire like law school. So I'm like, I really had to learn everything in like 3 months.
So you couldn't professional that one. You had to
No,
actually.
I had to really learn. Like I professionaled it, but like you have to learn 15 subjects.
That's crazy.
Because
I have a hard time even learning 52 cards.
So yeah, I'm glad I passed. I was like, whoo,
All
I don't
right.
have to
Well,
worry about
well,
that.
congrats. And then you pass the bar, and then you're just like, "F this. I'm gonna go play some cards." Is that right?
Actually, no. So right before, I guess I was still in law school when I had my first like six-figure score in a tournament, which was like on a random whim. I had no idea how to play tournaments. I kind of just really ran really, really exceptionally to get second in the Arizona State Championship in 2013, I think, or 2012.
It's your life, not mine.
2013. And so yeah, like once I had all this money, I was like, okay, I have a bankroll, like I can do stuff, and like I had a few people to like kind of push me towards playing tournament poker, like local cash grinders from Arizona that were like, you need to play tournaments, like you could do really well, like your style suits tournaments, and you're capable. So then I started traveling the circuit, and I became friends with a lot of the like grinders that kind of gave me an outlet to talk hands with, and that really like took me to the next level to be able to like get feedback on what I was doing, because before I was just like kind of like, this works, this doesn't, like guessing a little bit and like playing a lot on instinct. And so once I had people like be like, no, that's terrible, or yeah, do this, or don't do that, that helped me like tailor my game to a more competitive level.
You didn't use like 2plus2 or Reddit or training sites?
I don't know what that is.
Shout out to Kelly and her crew.
Shout out.
Working the tournament.
I had a great little crew. I really did. We had a good
Shout out to
little
her
crew.
Do you want to name drop them?
Yeah, it was Stephen Hess, Cord Garcia, Nate Kogel, Josh Vizcara, Ryan Van Sanford, Sterling Seville, and there was just like a bunch of us, like a bunch, and we just all like grinded. We traveled the circuit together. It was just fun. Like I was just one of the guys. I was like, as long as I have my own room, like let's do it. And they made it happen. It was fun. It was really, really fun.
You did the opposite of me. I was like total cash.
Well, I was
Grinding,
cash for like years. Like all throughout law school, like for I guess 2 years, I played like only cash. So
Yeah, I'm like almost 20.
you're like,
I have like 5 tournaments. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so
That's why it's so interesting to me when people do the tournament grind. It just seems like so exhausting. Like
it is, but it's like it's so rewarding when
you make the score.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I think I've done it consistently enough where I'm like, okay, I can do this.
And you actually came 3rd place in a tournament here, which we're gonna have.
Oh God.
Some of that.
I got bluffed a lot in that final table.
No comment.
Like what's his name? I forget. The guy who got second, he bluffed me a bunch, and I remember looking.
Jaffe?
No,
No,
the other one.
Yeah.
He bluffed me a bunch, and I remember thinking, like when we were in the hands, like he doesn't have the guts, and I was way wrong. He
Wow.
did. He definitely had the guts, and I was like, frick.
Yeah, when I was like, I remember watching it when it happened, and then I rewatched like the tail end. I was like, "Go on,
You're
Kelly,
like, call!
you got
I
this."
almost called
I
too,
know,
like a couple of them. I was like, this just,
But
and the weird thing that a lot of people don't talk about is like, for me, a lot of the final tables I've made or deep runs in the main event, like, you're highly criticized because you're in such like a big platform.
Yeah.
And so, I made decisions or like things that I felt really good about that may have like from the outside looking in looked like stupid.
I mean, you can see the whole cards.
Yeah,
it's like ridiculous.
okay, she's an idiot, like why is she doing this or blah blah blah. But in the moment, like, and obviously I didn't, especially in 2015, like I had been playing tournaments for like less than 2 years. So like I did make mistakes. But in the moment, I felt really comfortable with those decisions. And so, like, once you're critiqued to such a certain extent, it, like, puts doubt in your game. And so, like, when I was in that position, I'm like, oh, is this right? Like, people are watching. Like, of course that's in your head, So it's like, would I have done something different had, like, certain other things not happen? Like, maybe. Like, prior to the, getting three-handed, I think it was like 8 or 9-handed. I made like a terrible call. I like limped ace deuce, blind versus blind trying to trap, and the guy ripped like 22 or 24 big blinds, and I was just like, he's fucking has nothing. And I called,
like ace jack or something?
And he had ace jack, and I ended up beating him, and I was just like, oh. And so from that hand, that made me doubt from the rest of the final table, like every decision I made.
Oh,
that was like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I made this decision that was so, even though I won the hand, like it put so much doubt in my decision making, and that like definitely affected my play afterwards.
Yeah, that's definitely an underrated thing. Just like when like you're feeling good, even if you're dealt losers or whatever, but you're making the right decisions, then you're okay with it. But then you. Like
what are you Googling? The second thing that popped up is Dunkin' Donut video.
I'm really hungry, dude. I'm seriously hungry.
That one looks good, the yellow smiley face one.
I don't know. Actually, like, what happened is I think I installed something on Chrome, and like I
It's
thought
fine. As long as, it's okay.
I'm searching Kelly Minkin. This is what's coming.
Dunkin' Donut and no sex. Great. Who am I?
Um, so then, yeah, tell more tournament stories.
Oh,
Or
okay.
so,
More
yeah,
tournament stories?
sure.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. Uh, there was one time, so I went deep. I got third. My first WPT final table was at the Lucky Hearts in Seminole Hard Rock. Um, and I was just feeling myself that whole tournament. A lot of times, honestly, I've recognized that every time I go, or a lot of the times I go deep in tournaments, I'll go to my table on day one and be like, I'm gonna fucking win this tournament. Like, based on the players at the table. And especially when like I go into a day two and I have like a great table draw and then like my table breaks and then like I have another great table draw. Like I just the momentum and like the feeling and like I feel like I can dominate certain tables and I just like go with that. And I have a tendency of, or I used to have more of a tendency of like playing with a lot of ego. And like there was just something about that that made me feel good about fucking people up. Like honestly. And so there was a hand like this is like the most ridiculous hand. It like folded to Jeff Gross, who's my boy by the way. And it was like he was in the cutoff, he raises. I have like five deuce off and the small blind he just three bags. I'm just like fuck him.
Right.
Like no reason at all.
Right. Oh, there's a reason.
And then he calls. And the flop was like king, queen, seven, like jack, like whatever the queen, king, queen, seven, jack, like X.
But you're gonna outplay
And I'm
this
just like,
hand.
bet that rip. And he just like tanks forever and ends up folding. And everyone's like, show the bluff. And I showed it. And I just like, his whole face got red. And he was just so embarrassed. And I loved, like, I felt actually a little bad because Jeff is like one of the sweetest, like, biggest sweethearts ever. But it was hilarious. And yeah, that
And
was
now it
fun.
lives on here on Live with the Fight Legends. But then now you're back into the working world. How did that happen?
Yeah, so during this time, like when I had that run in the main event and
Oh
subsequent,
yeah, I remember that. Well, we were just like, yeah, we were
like
doing
really?
that like here. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
during
the
that time, I was
list.
still
Yeah,
working
the
like as a
list.
full-time attorney.
Wow.
I I was a medical malpractice defense attorney for 3.5 years. And then after that time,
So you went from studying medicine to be like, no, I'm gonna fuck up the people who.
no, I did defense work. So I like represented the
Okay, defense.
doctors and
Okay, got it.
hospitalists
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. So that was like
Damn it.
kind of where I,
Intersected.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
got it.
was like a really cool way of intersecting like my passion and what I ended up doing, which was law, which I think I'm just naturally good at. And it was really nice to be able to do that because I remember when I went to law school, I'm like, I for sure want to be in healthcare or like medicine or like science, something, I didn't want to go to law school and be like a bankruptcy lawyer. So it was really nice to be able to do that. And that's honestly still where my passion is like, it's so rewarding to help people for me. And to help people that I admire is like next level.
Hmm.
So that was amazing. And, at some point I hope that I can revisit that in some way. But now, I took, after that 3.5 years, it kind of, my career kind of plateaued because I was spending so much time in poker. I really couldn't like hone my craft as a lawyer. And so I decided, let me take some time off. I've worked like nonstop forever. I never took like a break from school to work to anything. So I took about a year, year and a half to travel. I played poker. Told myself like that summer, which was last summer, I'm like, based on how this summer goes, I'm going to decide if I'm going to continue playing poker or not. And I ended up going deep again in the main event. I got 50th. And I was like, I can do this. So then I just put like full throttle. I like took every opportunity I could, which included the Thirst Lounge, which I had an amazing experience. I think Bill Perkins is just like an absolute genius. It was great to like get to know him and get to know the people that were involved. And I just opened my perspective on like what I could do. I really pushed myself to do things that were out of my comfort zone. You know, like before this, I was like a very introverted, like didn't want to be the center of attention, like to kind of be by myself. Like I've always been kind of a loner, so to speak. Like I'm happy being social, but like I have to turn it off, you know? And I think a lot of poker players can relate to that. But once I got this opportunity last year when I went deep in the main and I got all these opportunities, which I got in 2015, but I said no to a lot of things because I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And I was focused on being a lawyer. So now I'm like, okay, let's do this. I did like the Joey podcast and I did, you know, the Poker Ghost stuff and all this stuff where, you know, and the Thirst Lounge, and it's like, okay, I can push myself and I can challenge myself and I can grow as a person and figure out if I want to do this or I don't. And so the last year or so has been like a lot of finding out what makes sense for me. And it's been fun, just like exploring all avenues.
All right. Looks like you lived a life.
Really, like I feel kind of I don't know what the word is, but like I'm very blessed in like a real way. Like I feel so grateful to have every opportunity I have. I have great friends. I have like I'm really fortunate to be able to not only like work with Mack and be able to continue to play poker and like have a family life and have really great friends and like have money in my bank account. Like it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, a lot of poker players don't have money in the bank account.
I know, and like I get that, and you know, at any day that could probably change, and I could come back here and be like begging for money. But hey, like right
But
now,
now you're with
life's good.
standing logs, so you're good.
Shout out to my boy Mack.
Shout out to Mac. Yeah, I talked to him a couple days ago, and I was gonna have him call in, but damn, like he had to see about a business deal.
Seriously, I want to tell you guys listening now. Like I've been working with Mack for about 4 months now, and he is such a genius. Like the way his mind works is like next level. He's so creative in like his approach and his methodology and his strategy and like how he approaches problem solving. And I really enjoy being able to work with someone who I can like feel like I can learn from in a way that's unique to any other like boss employee relationship.
Right, yeah.
You know, like
That
he
makes
sees
good.
me as an equal, he respects my opinion, but yet like has so much wisdom to like give out in the world.
Sure. No,
So if anyone has any like legal issues or dilemmas or future potential dilemmas, hit us up.
yeah, that's basically what I did because Mac's one of the few people who knows like the stuff I'm doing. So I'm like, this is gonna happen, and then he's like, okay, so this might happen, this might happen, this might happen. I'm like, so if that bad thing happens, can you take care of it? He's like, yes. I'm like, done.
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 He really is like and he's a good person. Like
Is he? I'm just kidding.
he
I'm joking.
genuinely cares about his clients. Like
Yeah.
the amount of like time and effort he puts into stuff is like really exceptional, and I admire that a lot about him.
Fucking donuts again.
$50 gift card, Dunkin' Donuts. Who in the chat wants one? Pull up the chat. Let's talk to some of our friends.
Hey, chat.
She's
Kelly's
wearing
got eyes on
iron
chat.
jorts. What's a jort?
I don't know, but you could stand up and show.
Are these jorts?
I don't know. There's like ripped.
Ripped.
It's
We
Tim.
like being ripped.
Tim 123 in the 4 is a reg. 007 AZ 123 is old school reg. Mad Hatter, of course. Brian
Oh,
Eric
what does
Hockey.
rain really smell like?
What does?
Nacho cheese.
You had that one in Twitter, didn't you? I remember that.
What?
Like nacho cheese, something.
Huh?
No.
I have
Never
no
mind.
idea. Kelly, what does... Okay, wait, I read that. So, what other questions we got? Can we have, like, the moderator spit us out questions? Like,
Yeah, Patrick. I know you're in the
Patrick,
mix.
what up?
What up? He does all the YouTube vids. So when
Who?
Patrick Curran.
Oh, yeah, Patrick, the
Yeah.
redhead?
Yeah.
I love him. Hey, Pat.
Pat, she loves you.
He knows that, though.
There's
We talk.
There's the one where you're like flexing, and we're gonna play that in a bit. I'm like,
Oh, you can't see because of my sleep.
yeah, but
You
yeah.
see that, like, little poke? Mm.
I was like, yeah, cuteness confirmed. Has someone put a ring on it yet? I mean, just like, that's a lot of rings. Shout out to 7 rings.
Oh yeah, I want it. I got it.
Oh my gosh.
You're
this is great.
babysitting. Hurry up.
All right. They're talking about your dating life. You want to comment while I
Is Kelly
catch up?
Spraggy? That's not me. I'm not dating Spraggy. I don't know him. But shout out to Spraggy. Yeah, I do have a boyfriend though. It's not him.
Guy, put a ring on it, man. Look at that. Look at that. Put a ring on it. And
Put a
when she has the part when she's like flexing stuff, I'm like, dude, you better put a ring on it. That's like,
Right?
yeah, it's like she's one of a kind.
Where's your ring?
What? What do you mean? No one wants this.
What do you mean? I love nacho cheese.
Guys, if you want to insult her, do it here where she can just like respond real time.
Yeah, you
Love this
guys,
stuff.
bring the insults. Let's
Thank you,
hear
thank
it.
you.
Let's do what is the thing on Jimmy Kimmel, like mean tweets for
Oh
something?
yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah, if you guys have mean, we should like Marley and Novocaine Poker read mean tweet or mean
really?
comments on Live at the Bike.
Novocaine Poker, oh my god, she's epic.
She's awesome. Yeah.
She's so awesome.
Shout out to Alex.
Shout out to Alex. It's been a while, Alex. What's up?
Yeah.
She's
Alex,
like
come
too
on.
good for me now.
What'd she do?
She's just cool. She's fucking cool as fuck. Like she just walks in the room and everyone's like, "Who is that?" You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So
She could like do serious harm by punching people. I think.
she could just do serious harm by just looking, giving you that death look, like,
too.
"I'll fuck you up."
Novocaine, peace. Okay, time out, peace. No harm. Shout out to Metal Doctor. He's a reg.
Oh, yeah, white party. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
You can't get this out. This is just
What?
like
You
epic.
can't, when I say white party and do the dance, you can't just sit there and look straight at the screen.
Why?
You gotta do a dance.
I'm watching your dance. I'm like
You
mesmerized.
can't do that.
I'm just like,
You gotta participate.
okay, what's going on here?
Oh my god, discount $60.
Quality
OMG.
boots. This is like
He's got a virus on his phone.
computer. Nick from Yuma, he's a reg. Surf and snowboard's a reg.
Cool.
Just cool.
Are you
like
guys
that.
gonna watch on Wednesday? Let's try
Yeah,
to.
tune in.
What's like the average viewership of Live at the Bike?
It depends on the day and the stakes. And
Such like
celebrity.
such
If there's
like
a celebrity appearance, then boom, it just goes
Boom?
like so high. How high? Real high.
I look like an owl. They said, "Thank you
Really?
so much. I love owls."
Because they're wise, right?
Ooh.
No, you should. When they say you look like an owl, be like, who? Who?
Ooh. Ooh. Better do what she
What's up,
says,
Marcella?
Wayne. Yep.
What did you say?
I don't know.
Oh, to do the
do the
dance.
dance.
Yeah.
Go.
I don't know. I already did the. No.
What's your go-to signature move?
I don't. I'm too old for this.
What do you mean?
I'm like twice your age. I don't
What
have
do
any
you do?
moves. I don't have any
You mean
moves.
twice my age. You're not 69. Okay, for real.
44.5.
When is her
Okay.
master class for schooling
Oh,
women on
yeah.
how to beat poker?
What's like women how to people? Why don't you just like teach people how to play?
I did.
Yeah.
So I do that. And back to the Norwegian poker cruise that Lonnie and Joe and I did. We did teach a class, and it was super fun. Like I love teaching to the extent that I can. Like we taught people who are very like beginner stage players, so it was interesting to see like and hear what people's thought process was. You know, like why you would limp queen six suited under the gun. I got some insight on that, and it was interesting to like hear about that. And
Because it's a versatile hand. You can make a
you
flush.
can make a flush, you
a
can
straight,
make two pair.
Two pair. You can make three of a kind. You can flop a full house.
True.
If somebody has an ace and the board is 2, 3, 4, 5, you get implied odds because you have a 6.
What's implied odds?
She couldn't even say it with a straight face. Oh my.
We're just messing around, folks.
You had a prop bet with you have a lot of prop bets, but what about the
I do.
I don't know. I read this on Poker News. Like,
I'm like, really?
shouts to Poker News.
I have
Uh,
one famous, infamous prop bet,
which
and
is
it's with my best friend John Party. Shout out to John.
shout out to John.
By the way, I just want to take this time since I have the stage
Hmm.
to say that John is he's so funny and he's such a good guy. He's awesome. Like, Thirst Lounge brought us together.
Ladies
And
out there, he's a really good
no,
guy.
no, no. He's got a girlfriend and
Okay,
she's
just
awesome. And no, he's not on the
joking.
market. But he's my friend and I adore him. And he has my name tattooed on his thigh and my Twitter handle.
How much was it for?
1,000 doll hairs.
Um, would you like to offer that to anybody in the chat?
Yeah, so if anyone else wants to get my name tattooed and my Twitter handle, we can talk shop.
That's like a lot of advertising, you know,
But he can't, and this is the only tattoo he has.
just like a tattoo.
It's
Shout
on
out
his
to Jordan
thigh right
Spikes.
here.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. What does the girlfriend think of the tattoo or the bet?
She's
the bet?
awesome.
So she's okay
Geeks.
with it. She's okay.
I haven't talked to her specifically about it, but she knows it's like, he's just getting that money.
How many deep runs do you have in the main?
2.
2.
So in 2015, I got 29th,
Okay.
and in 2018, I got 50th.
We were sweating that one. We were just
Yeah.
like refresh, 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 and I told the chat if you go back to episodes during that time, we're like, chat, what's she at now? You know, tell us updates because I can't look at anything here.
It was nerve-wracking. It was fun. But I will tell you, out of all the tournaments, I have gone in the deep in the main event twice, and like day 5 and over, it's so mentally tiring.
Right.
It's like next level. I can't really describe it or compare it to anything else except like taking the bar, which was grueling.
And we talk. You don't play video games, so you never compete. That's like extremely stressful.
Do I look like I play video games? Wouldn't that be sick if I played video games?
I don't know. Chat,
Like
what do you think?
FIFA or something? I was like sick with it, like boom, boom, boom.
You'd pretty much do anything and be sick with it. You'd be ill
I know,
with
but
it.
it would be cool if I like could do something like extra nerdy, like binary code or something.
You can't do that.
I could,
Yeah.
but I just don't.
Can't. You won't. You don't stop. Let's see. So yeah. Then 4 months into Verstandig Law, you make some friends there,
Yes.
and any enemies? I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah.
The workplace is a great workplace environment, and like I said, it's just good all around. And it's nice to have people who are not only good people, but freaking good at what they do and super smart. It's not common, especially in
What
law.
are you saying about poker? LOL. No.
Well, I
It's
think
funny.
naturally, like poker, and this is one thing that I do like about poker, is it tends to draw a lot of people at like high levels that are really just innately smart and intelligent. So then like that core group of people tend to like have conversations about like outside of poker things that are interesting. That
No,
the
it's true.
average population does not. Like
I've said this on air too. It's because like poker forces like a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds, and like industries to come together, and you learn more in that environment. But being like more versatile and just be like, oh, you're like this, like that, like this, and
exactly.
are there any stereotypes for like lawyer poker players that you want to bust? First, say the stereotypes, and then do the MythBusters.
Well, I think the stereotype is like any high-level professional playing poker is like not good in general. Like I think if you see like a doctor at the table or like a lawyer at the table, you're like they're probably not good
Why
in
would
my
people say
opinion.
that?
Because people who have a lot of money tend to not play great. Like in general, this is like a generality. So if you're like sitting down and you hear someone say like, "Oh, I'm a doctor," you're gonna assume that person's like a fish unless they give you like reason to think otherwise. Typically, in my experience.
So what are they there for if they're
For fun.
okay, match cards?
People like to play poker. It's fun. It's fun to compete. It's fun to play a game, especially a game that you can win with being and still have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
fun.
That's one of it's one of the few games
It's
that you can
really
do that.
fun because like you said, like there's not a lot of games that like your skill does not directly equate to the result.
Right.
So it adds this level of like unknown, like magic. That's fun.
Shout to poker. Bang bang, shots fired.
Bang bang. Where's Joey at? Joey
Um,
retired, huh?
yeah, he's kind of retiring. I
He's
like
out the game.
he after my Andy podcast last Monday, he replied to him. He's like, if Andy's doing podcasts, I should get back in the mix. And I just RT'd it and liked it. And then I texted him. I'm like, you getting back in the mix? Don't
He's
tease.
like, no.
I was like, don't tease me. He's like, yeah. I'm like, he just teased me. Green Bastard asked,
Green bastard. Wait, hold on.
yeah, Green Bastard. He asked,
What? Wait, green bastard. After I answer this question, I want you to write back why that's your name.
okay, so Green Bastard asked, what kind of healthcare law you practice?
I did medical malpractice defense, which means that anytime a doctor, a hospital, or a hospitalist, which is someone who works in the hospital, is sued for malpractice in the medical field, which means they were negligent in the care they were giving to their patient. I represented the doctors or the hospital or the hospitalist when they were sued for that tort.
And what is the likelihood that your defense goes through, like succeed,
Prevails.
prevails? Yeah.
Well, that's a great question, Wayne. That's very, very difficult to answer. But I would say, like, in the jurisdiction that I practice in, which is Maricopa County in Arizona, it's a very conservative jurisdiction, which means that it tends to be a lot of defense verdicts when they go to trial. So when we go to trial, the defense verdict rate was roughly 90% in our favor. So we
Wow.
were a huge favorite if we went to trial. But that is kind of misleading because it doesn't take into account the multiple times where, or the vast majority of times where the defense attorney settled outside of court
Right.
because there is an acknowledgement that something was done that was wrong, or that from like a business perspective it makes monetary sense to just pay out X amount as
Pay.
opposed to going to trial and spending X amount
Right. Right.
to just pursue the case.
You're getting the inside info, man. This is crazy. They're like,
So
pay that man his money? No.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes it makes sense to just pay them,
Yeah.
and sometimes it makes sense to fight it. And
Right.
sometimes doctors have the opportunity to decide, and sometimes they don't, and the insurance decides.
Oh,
So it really
that's really
depends.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
it depends on the type of insurance they have. Some plans say, as a provider, you can decide if you want to fight this or not.
Hmm.
And some plans are like, you don't have a choice. This is our money. We'll decide if we're going to fight it or not.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of factors involved.
Don't
It's
fight.
fun though.
Is it when you win, right? What if you lose?
It's just fun to be in the mix and like see medical records and like make decisions, like strategic decisions on like what should we pursue and like how can we, you know, build this defense and like what avenue should we take and like it's interesting.
Can you comment on what cases might be easy and high success rate, and others that might be hard and low success rate?
So, yes, I mean, I think the biggest part, and this is going to be boring for the people watching, but in medical malpractice cases, the biggest thing is like proving causation, which means like, okay, was there negligence? You can prove, but in order to have a successful medical malpractice suit, you have to show that that negligence caused whatever harm you are alleging.
Right.
So, like, if you go to a doctor and they have take an X-ray and they miss something, right?
They mess
That's
around their cards.
negligent.
Yeah.
But if it didn't cause harm,
Then it's all
then
good.
we don't owe you money.
Right.
You have to show that whatever we did to mess up caused
Actually
a
did
harm.
something. Right.
And that's hard to prove.
Right. So if like if I fold winner, but nobody saw, then I can't. You just said that
You're
there might be
done.
audience to be
You're
boring.
done. Okay, let's see. The Wayne move. Ply them with wine. Feed them Korean. Where's the Korean barbecue?
Do you want to go?
Where's step one?
What do you mean?
The Wayne move. I'm only getting one of three.
Don't listen to Wisco Inferno. He's trying to throw me under the bus.
It says cost of living in Phoenix used to be good. It is now exploding due to California people invading. This is true. My house like appraisal has gone up like 100%.
So you benefit.
Oh, 100%.
Shout out to 100% times 2. So what foods do you like?
What food?
Yeah, you obviously knew Pizzeria Moza.
I love seafood. I like sushi.
So you like eating my kind.
I like Mexican food.
Okay.
I like Taco Bell.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do crave Taco Bell.
Dude, Taco Bell is the best.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like I
What do you
really, I get a number one with no lettuce or tomato, the Mountain Dew.
What is the number one? I
It's
guess
just
a Mountain Dew
crunchy
too.
supreme tacos.
Okay.
So it's like sour cream, cheese, and meat
Mm.
with hot sauce and a Mountain Dew. It's super decent and I love it. Like it just hits the spot.
You know, there's like a place block from here, Alejandro's. It's like actual, real Mexican food. No, you just don't care. You just want to dance, 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 dance.
I love Mexican food. I like fake Mexican food. I like hole in the wall Mexican food. I like Javier's. I like super burrito and
Got it.
everything in between.
Okay, guys, when you see her, you want to impress her, get her some good Mexican food.
You want to impress me? Bring me nachos with extra jalapenos
My thing is
and a Coke.
not Mountain Dew.
No, you gotta have Coke with like spicy food. Like something about it is like good.
Guys, shoot the questions.
Ask her about her great charity work.
Mm.
Well, that's interesting you asked me that because last year I wanted to start my own foundation. And it was to help young adults and teenagers with financial literacy and like life skills. And I wanted to create this portal online where like people that were highly regarded in their individual specialty fields would make like videos and like help people kind of have cliff notes on like certain areas that were beneficial to like life skills. So like for a mortgage broker would have like a 15-minute video on this portal and say like these are the tips you need to know, like this is the ins and outs, like let me give you like a quick cheat sheet. And then if someone who was viewing this, like a young adult, was like, I really want more than anything to buy a house right now, they could click that and like have access to that person, and then they could have a more detailed like description of what that entailed and what it meant and what's important and what's not. And you know, it's just hard to really take like such a big project and do it in the way that like I envision it. I do hope that in sometime in the future I'm able to like pursue that to a significant degree. But in 2017 I started volunteering for Hospice of the Valley, which is in Phoenix, Arizona, and I work with hospice patients and spend time with them and take them to doctor's appointments and go grocery shopping. So I really enjoy charity work. I've sold paintings and given the proceeds to Phoenix Children's Hospital. I try to give back as much as I can. I've donated to various, you know,
I like helping
charities, and
people.
yeah, I think that it's really important to do that individually because what you get back from that is something that you can't
The feeling, the
replace.
emotions.
Just it's good to do that. It's good. It's for me it feels like when you give good to the world, like that good comes back to you. It's like a symbiotic relationship, like in the universe.
People helping people. It works.
We're going deep.
Dunkin' Donuts just came up
But
again.
you guys asked it.
Yeah, that's
Do
good.
ask what you want.
We got Amazing Abby says, what's the most important law skill that helps with poker?
I think just being like super logical and able to be unbiased in decision making. I think that's super important.
Objectivity.
Yeah, objectivity in both poker and law is not only rare, but extremely, extremely important if you want to be successful.
Mm,
Because I think a
I
lot
like
of
that.
people in law, like, it's so easy to be biased and be like, especially when law is so, what I think lay people, which is like people who aren't in law, don't understand is like, in law school, you're taught like whatever side argues the best argument wins. It doesn't matter. It's like how you can present the facts in a way that is beneficial to your side. If
Right.
you're good at that, you will be a good lawyer. It's about having a set of facts, and no matter you're going to argue for it or against it, you can twist it to make it go your way.
So why aren't more women lawyers going
There's a
against
lot
men?
there's a
Oh,
lot of
really?
women that are lawyers, and there's a lot of really good women that are lawyers that are really good at what they do because of that. And there's also a lot of men that are good at doing that.
That lawyer well.
That lawyer well. It's
What's,
it's a really fine-tuned skill.
oh, I
And
mean,
you also have to have confidence.
hmm,
Like you can't go in front of a jury or a judge and like argue your point and be like unsure. Just like
hmm,
in poker, if you're
gotta
gonna take a
bluff.
line,
Right.
you have to be confident in what you're doing because once you like lose that confidence and someone sniffs like
Weakness.
weakness, they
Yeah.
like pounce on that shit.
This is amazing. I don't know if the audience loves it. I mean, you're 42 and 11, but it's amazing. What's up, Crazy Ray?
11 downs? I should be way more than
Who
that.
who would who do you think would like downvote you?
Haters.
What are they hating on though? I found nothing to hate on. I'm getting educated just like we talked about with being at the poker table.
I mean, I got a couple haters. Shout out to my haters. Why are men better lawyers than females? Yeah, I would disagree. I think really the one thing I will say, which I have seen like as a woman that's in a male-dominated field in a lot of respects,
Hmm.
I think women in general are have a lot harder of an experience when you're confident. I think it's portrayed differently by society in general. Is like if you're a confident woman, people are like not into that. Like it comes off as like arrogant or like you think you're hot shit. And like when a man is like that, it's attractive. When a woman is like that, it's attractive to some people, but like a lot of people are turned off by that. Like an aggressive woman is like a
Okay.
new thing, and like a confident woman is like a new thing,
Hmm.
and it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So like in order to be good at being a lawyer, like I said, or being a good poker player, you have to be confident.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of women just lack that in general. So when you come to like a field where that's necessary, it's difficult. It's hard.
So on this topic, what do you think of like women in male-dominated industries, which is,
I think
poker's
it's
definitely one of them.
fucking awesome. I think if you're like a woman in a male-dominated field and you can kick ass, like it's sexy. I like the one person I will talk about who I've like played with recently who's had like a lot of success. Obviously, like Lonnie's my number one and always is. But like I will say something about Kristen Bicknell. Like she's
A boss.
sick.
Mm.
And I love her because she's so confident in her ability without being like cocky. Like she just is so under the radar but not under the radar. It's
Okay.
like the perfect mix of like I'm confident but like I'm gonna just trap your ass.
What was funny was, do you remember the incident where I think it was Ali Najad like said he didn't refer to Kristen by her name and said Alex Fox and his girlfriend, just like a
Dude,
ton of
I
girls.
tweeted about that because I
Yeah.
was like, yo, what is wrong with you? That was at the GPI Awards.
Yeah. Oh,
Because I'm
okay.
like,
Yeah.
Kristen, like, obviously, like, I've known Foxen for years, like, before he started playing high rollers, and, like, I've always respected his game because he has that, like, confidence and, like, aggression that just, like, a lot of people don't know how to respond to, which I
Mm.
think in poker is, like, a plus,
Sure.
like, regardless.
Sure.
And with Kristen, like, she has her own style, and, like, she, in her own right, is, like, a boss. And so for someone and I think like Kristen has had success like before Foxen had success. Like she was doing well like before they were dating and before Foxen really even came on the scene. So to like say that to me, like I'm off of all of that.
What
'Cause like
was
Kristen in her own right like stands alone.
what was like, and maybe I don't remember the incident that correctly. Like what was like the, I guess, how was it like communicated that caused so much uproar?
Hmm?
Like what did Ali Najad say that was so like
Oh,
seemed like
so
insulting? Maybe I got this
so
wrong.
Kristen was accepting the GPI Female Player of the Year award,
Hmm.
and Ollie's like, and Alex Foxen's girlfriend,
Oh,
Kristen
okay.
McNeil.
That's not good.
I was
Yeah.
like, no.
That's not good. But like I did mention on Live Bike was joking, but it actually did happen. Like I forgot Alex Foxen's name, but I remember Kristen Bicknell. So I was like, that
Kristen
dude,
Bicknell's
Kristen. Yeah,
boyfriend.
I said that,
Yeah.
but obviously no guy gave a crap when I said that.
But still, I mean,
No, when you're
I get
accepting a
it.
award, I totally understand. Like
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
their own identity, but um,
You're in
jeez,
trouble.
he like doesn't get it. Anyway, can you entertain the audience for a
Doesn't
couple?
get it. Yes, okay, so let's go to some questions. He's got to take a call.
Yeah.
So amazing
Yeah, sure.
Abby
All Mondays are
25
half
said
days on the
Kelly
podcast now.
is amazing. I'm in love. I'm in love. That's so sweet. You guys are the best. Okay, he's off his secret phone call. Let's see what else.
People
Yeah,
like,
Kristen Bicknell was Supernova Elite. Yeah, like she seriously like is a like I respect her game so much and like we went deep. So the last WPT I played was WPT Montreal and I ended up getting seventh. And I think Kristen got like third, fourth, maybe. But like I played with her and she's so poised and composed and like her decision making's on point, like, and she's such like a breath of fresh air because she like still is like sweet and like nice to everybody, but she like fucks people up, and that's like awesome. Like I love that dichotomy
yeah,
because she comes off as like sweet and she's nice to everyone and she smiles and she's cute and she's like petite, but she will fuck your ass up, and that's awesome. Shout out to Kristen.
that's like kind of especially if you're like in sports or just like games and competitions, like you have to separate who you are in like kind of real life and like when you're competing. That's like something that, people who compete hardcore is definitely
For sure.
you shout out all your fans and lovers or
Yeah, Sid thinks, Kelly, what are your long-term goals? That's a great question, Sid. Well, I will say that my long-term goals are not really too poker related. I do enjoy playing poker and I like I see myself continuing to do that, but like whatever the result is the result. And like I love that I have a platform to be able to like reach people and like send whatever message I want to send and poker's helped me get to that point. But really, what it comes down to is just being like happy and feeling like I have freedom to do what I want, to be able to travel when I want, to be able to start a family when I want, and like build on that. And just, I think that a lot of poker players focus so much on poker that it really clouds like what's really important, which to me is like not poker. I think poker is great and it's nice to have like a solid foundation outside of poker so when you come and play poker and like you get bad beat or like you lose like 20 sessions in a row, that it's not like aligned with your identity because that's dangerous.
right. I've mentioned that to people and like I'm guilty of it too. Like when I'm getting buried and like when in the phase where poker is like my thing, it like wrecks you. Like
Yeah, and that's like for anybody, right? Like it's so hard to not be results oriented
yeah,
because the results are what matter. Like if you're playing like shit and you're winning money like consistently, no one gives a shit.
right.
Like if your graph is like this and you're playing horribly, keep playing horribly because it's working for you. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing solid and you're like losing every session, that's really hard to like
Yeah.
justify in your mind and like and reinforce like okay I'm playing good like eventually this will turn around and it like continues to go worse and worse and worse like that sucks and it's really like defeating. So I think if you don't have like strong roots outside of poker, it's tough to survive.
Yeah. It's just like no matter how good you are, you're gonna hit downswings, and then when you attach, if poker's the only thing you do, sometimes you just attach your identity to it, and just
For
like.
sure.
So, Wuseo Clan texted me and said I gotta read some Twitch
Wuse?
question.
Who's Wuse?
No, he's a foreman here.
Oh, what
Wuseo.
up?
Wuseo.
Wuseo?
He used to be a League of Legends scrim. You don't know what that is, do you? No. He's like
A scrim?
he was making money, but he wasn't like quite pro. It's really good. It's like almost professional.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Anyway, Twitch questions. Hey Kelly, how would you summarize your specific style of poker?
Well, I will say it's kind of evolved over the years. Like, I used to be like crazy aggressive, like loose aggressive. Like, as soon as I felt like a weakness, like I wouldn't care what two cards I have, I would just like push the like throttle. Honestly, like I really would, and that worked for me for like a really long time because I had no fear. And then once I learned more about the game and I was like, okay, I can pick my spots and like I don't need to take these like aggressive lines, or like I can strategically pick when to be aggressive. So I like toned it down a lot, and I would say like, I went from being loose aggressive to more like tight aggressive, and maybe like some gray area in between based on like the game or like the table. So
Yeah, you have to adapt to the table
yeah, and I think that's where a
conditions.
lot of people make grave mistakes is by playing consistently the same style regardless of the table. Like I had a table at the WPT Montreal that was like me, Faraz Jaka, James Romero, Kitty Quo.
Shout out to Kitty.
Like it was sick. There's if you guys go on my Twitter, like Kitty's Twitter, and go on the media and search for the picture, it was like the hardest. Oh, Jack Salter,
Oh, he played on Live with the Bike recently too.
Aunt Zeno, like it wasn't a real table. It was like WPT winner after like like $30 million in earnings on that table or more. And like at that point I tightened up. Like I was just like I fucking want to wait until I get off this table. Seriously, because it was like
And
not
misstep
worth
can be
me,
bad, right? Yeah.
not worth me like battling with these guys and like potentially busting, which like I ended up battling anyway, and I lost this huge pot to James because I played like an idiot. But like it happens sometimes, and other times I'll be sitting at a table where I don't recognize anyone and I'm like, I gotta rev it up. So it really is like a gradient based on your opponents.
So with all this talk, I do have to ask, like, what's your opinion, like live reads and just like tells?
I'm all about it. Like I love getting information, especially when I'm at like a tough decision, and I'm trying to figure out whether to like call or fold. I tend to use like external factors on like making that swaying my decision one way or the other. So like I'll try to like do speech play, I'll try to like read people's body language, I'll try to think about like prior hands that were played out with that certain individual. All of those factors I think help me make game time decisions where it's like, okay, it's do or die. And I think honestly, playing in the WPT Montreal and having that 30-second shot clock, like, definitely hinders that ability to really, like, think about live reads. Because you only have 30 seconds and you have, like, a finite amount of
Right.
time banks. And so, it makes it difficult, and it's definitely affected my game, like, and you have to consider that when you play these WPTs now with the time banks. Definitely.
Um, Marin Kidnick asks, or what's your morning routine?
My morning routine? I don't really have a morning routine. When I went to work every day, I used to like wake up, I'd like brush my teeth, I'd get ready. Like I had a routine more so, but now that like I kind of wake up and do what I want every day, like I don't have a routine. So sometimes I'll wake up and I'll stay in bed, sometimes I'll wake up and shower, sometimes I'll wake up and eat, sometimes I'll wake up and go to the gym. Like I don't, it really is not a routine, and that's nice because like prior to the past couple years, I've always had like a strict routine. I woke up, I went to school, I woke up, I went to work, I woke up, and I did something immediately. And so I feel like I've been able to indulge in the fact that like I don't have to do anything. And I think a lot of people take for granted, like, we live in this society where like productivity is so like highly regarded as something that's like a strong attribute, where like I feel like it's the opposite. Like you don't, this like strong, intense feeling that we have to be productive at all times is like such a fallacy. Because if we let go of this idea
Hmm.
that like, oh, laziness is bad, like we're all programmed to think like if you're not doing something, you're lazy and you're like, you're not motivated and you're this and you're that. But it's like I've worked my ass off for my entire life and I've spent like, the last 2 years or so like kind of winding it back. And like I
That's
should
okay.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're able to have the ability to wake up and not go to the office and not immediately have to do something to make money, like you're one of the very few people that's able to do that. So like why feel guilty about it? You shouldn't feel guilty about it. Like enjoy it because it's not going to be forever. At some point like your life will change. At some point you're going to wake up and go to work every day. At some point you're going to wake up and take care of your kids. But if you don't have those responsibilities, like
Just,
bask in it.
yeah. Shout out to basking.
Shout out to basking.
When you were coming up in like the small stakes cash games, which I feel like tells and like live reads are far more valuable, were the things you just like, you didn't even care about what cards you had. The second somebody does like a weakness thing, you just like pounce, or if somebody does a strength tell, you just like snap fall.
Yeah, but like the interesting thing is like, at high level, those things are still applicable. Like, I played a hand at WPT Montreal with Mike McDonald where like I picked up a live read and like made a complete different decision based on that tell and it worked out. And like he's obviously one of like the best poker players in the world, but like I think that a lot of times where
You twist the Oreo cookie at the table, you shouldn't do that.
huh?
The twist the Oreo
Yeah.
cookie.
But I think there's certain times where like people are like we're all human, right? So we all like I am sure that I give off live tells that people can make decisions based on like act that I do or don't do or like the sweat on my lip or whatever. Like you can pick up on that because
Yeah.
a lot of it the reaction to stress is autonomous, which
Yeah.
means like we don't have control of it. Like if you get red in the face, like you can't not get red in the face.
Yeah, just put down the alcohol.
Yeah, and there's
Let go.
obviously there's obviously some people that are really good at masking those things,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people who aren't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who aren't. That's all I'm
I'm
gonna
not
say
gonna
about
throw
that.
everything under the bus, but I don't want to throw you under the bus, but
Throw me under the bus.
okay, I'll throw you under the bus. Like, are there any cool like speech play things you did that just like totally just like wrecked the other guy?
Yeah. So I would say
Throwing you under the bus.
yeah,
Go,
so I
tell
would
the
say
audience.
like one of my go-to things that I like to do is ask people what they have or what are they doing. I'll say, "What do you have?" or "What are you doing?"
Okay.
And just like even if someone doesn't verbally respond, a lot of times people respond with like a body reaction
Sure.
or like body language or like they'll do this or they do this or they don't do anything.
Lean back. Shout to
Exactly, like all of those things. So like you pick up and then you use that information like, okay, out of all the other information I've already have in my bank of like what the sizing is, how they cut the chips, like what was the pre-flop action, what were the hands before that they won or lost, like what's their stack size, blah 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 blah. And then you use that to kind of like
Tip
tip the scales.
Jinx.
100 jinx. Okay, you got to drink to that.
So, Blueberry Nug says I'm trying to impress you with the white shirt.
Well,
and the white
he's
one.
already impressing me with the screen name because I love it.
No, he said I'm trying to impress you, but he's Blueberry Nugs. You got. She's impressed. She's impressed.
Yadaraj.
Nobody sees these comments. Sorry, guys. There's like 2 chats. I'm like toggling.
Yeah, okay. Send more. If you haven't gotten your question answered, just write. Wait, aren't we gonna get call-ins?
Yeah, but I turned off Skype because people call in prematurely. But we're gonna go over your hands and then we'll take call-ins. Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna go through our hands and it's Kelly Minkin. We could talk for like a bajillion years. So no more dancing. We're doing.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So if you guys didn't know, this is Kelly Minkin. When she wasn't Machine Gun Kelly, she was BB Gun Kelly.
BB.
Drinking though.
I know.
He's been taking.
Oh, I should tell you the Machine Gun Kelly
some
hand.
stuff that doesn't
Why I
work
got
for
that
me.
nickname. Because
Okay.
I dubbed
Well, this is
Machine
BB Gun Kelly.
Drugs. You
I don't
want
even
drugs.
remember this.
And this is like
Yeah.
That's a good lesson for everybody out there, by the way.
Brian
If
has
you're
the
taking
5-7
prescription
of
drugs,
diamonds,
do
and
not
he's gonna
drink.
raise it up.
This is epic.
I know. This is how OG
I love
you
my
are.
sunglasses. What year was
It's
this?
So we get a
2014.
raise here from Brian.
Let's go.
And see-
I was
Number
like
eight,
getting
Kelly,
like your hands, and
3
I was like,
bets. So you
oh
got a
my
raise under
gosh,
the gun
there's something
plus
from
2, Kelly in the
2014
hijack.
LATB.
Is,
And look at he just like
well,
tosses the
Brian's
chips, and
in
you're like,
terrible
I have
shape.
kings.
And this is just, yeah.
Wait, what happened? Brian
Shout
just
out
sets
to
her in.
Chuck Tuckman.
No, a
Wait, did
raise
you
from
call
Brian.
all
Kelly
in?
3
He
bets.
he
Brian
shipped it
basically-
on you, and then
7 high.
Yes.
you
Well, Brian thought
snapped.
Kelly was making a move.
With her stack size? She only has.
Tuckman
400.
and Oase, shout out to
Are we
Oase
betting
and
with that stack
Tuckman,
size
said
small?
that
You know what? Some
he
people-
thought you were making a move, or maybe he was suited on.
4?
No.
I win.
Yeah, you won.
Wait, so why are we showing this hand?
To show how old school and how badass your glasses were.
Oh yeah, I'm sick with it. I'm sick with it.
She was ill even back then.
Ill.
What are you talking- Dude,
Ill
I-
Bill.
She's ill.
2,000 hours of private
Standard. You think it's standard?
Do you remember Brian?
I have
Yes.
put over 2,000 hours.
She's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
This
I'm like,
game-
what is wrong with you, bro? Do you hate money?
I was like, dude, it's 2014. You can invest in Bitcoin. You know what's going to happen in a couple of years.
Oh shit.
Why do you think I'm playing this game?
All right, next stand. This is BB Gun Kelly, and now she's Machine Gun Kelly. Actually,
Boom.
you get cooler
Oh,
so
this
hard.
is so fucked up.
Yeah.
I got wrecked this session.
Yeah.
And then like I ripped
Cooler,
runner to
cooler.
straight, and then Garrett
G-man.
runner to a flush. It was
A-
so
a
sick.
5 black cards.
Yeah, it was gross.
This is a cooler too. You have top 2 pair, and Andy has. He was
I'm
looking
like the wettest board of all time, and I just like check called the entire way.
yeah. He
I literally just check called the entire way and got fucking wrecked. Like, why can't the board pair? Where's the 7? Where's the 5?
you didn't have 5 on it. Andy found that third 3.
You know what
It's really
though?
hard
I
to find
like
that third
Andy's great.
Yeah. I had him on last week. He like crushed viewership records. It was insane. I knew it was gonna be hot, but I didn't know. Like yours, I just expected to be super.
Like whatever.
She's gonna crush it.
I'm like that changes nothing. Let's go.
You have deuce 4.
I wish.
What are you thinking here? You're just like, just not laying it down. I think I might have been commenting this one. I don't even remember. But I'm just like, dude, this is such a rough spot. Like, how do you even?
I don't love it, but I don't hate it. You know, it's like
Hated to love it. The chips are going in.
it's so annoying to have like a lot of money behind in this spot.
Yeah.
Like I have like 10K and I'm just like, fuck, this guy's like betting like just barrel. And then I think he rips on me on the river, right?
Yes.
I know this sounds kind of weird too, but I feel like we've all been in situations, whether it's like tournaments or cash, where you can feel the momentum like away from you.
Yes.
And you just know like you're never good. Like as strong as, like even if you flop the nuts, you're like, I know I'm going to get sucked out on, or I know I'm going to get counterfeit or whatever. Like, and it just happens because like I feel like when the momentum's in your favor, you go with it. When the momentum's not in your favor, you should like you like pull the reins in.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like a lot of it is like intangible too, like your emotional state. Oh,
So
no Vegas in the
I
freaking
cried
rush.
I cried all the way home that night.
Over
No.
this hand or,
I'm
or
just
both
kidding.
hands?
I've never
make up a
cried
good
in
story.
poker.
Should
Should I?
I've
would
seen
be-
like man, who asked me this question? Somebody asked me a question. Have you ever seen somebody cry at the poker table? And I was like, yes.
I've 100% seen people
Yes,
cry. I've
me
made
too.
people cry. And I've consoled people who I've made cry.
Wow, that's brutal. Was it over poker or did you
Yeah,
like
it was
reject them?
over, like, a
okay, it wasn't
hand.
like wasn't like
No.
Kelly like
No, I was
I
just
wanted-
like,
I want
I
your
was
number
to his
one for
immediate
Marino.
left, and I was just fucking him up. And he was like, he started tearing up, and I was like, it's okay. I'll stop. I did, and I stopped.
you stopped, you got up, you
Well, I
got the
told
wine.
him, I said you should leave, and he did.
Oh wow, such a Samaritan. Oh my gosh. So this
To
is
me,
the
like,
brutal.
it's not fun if the person doesn't have any fight in them. Because then it feels like gross, you know?
Right,
Like, I
right.
want, they gotta fight back. If they don't fight back, then I'm not gonna, like, kick you when you're, like, unconscious.
Wow. That's so deep.
That's so deep.
So this
Look
one's
at
a
this
brutal
hand.
one.
It's so gross.
It's just too sick. Guys, if you see
10 of
Kelly,
clubs on the river, like a jag off.
if you see Kelly Minkin, commiserate with these coolers and buy her a drink.
And how does he call?
He has a pair and a flush draw. What do you mean?
And an open ender.
Yeah, an open
He's
ended.
got a lot of outs.
He has a lot of outs. In fact, he's
and
the
he's
favorite.
like, I run so good against Kelly. That's what he's thinking right now. He's like,
Yeah.
this girl thinks whatever she has is good. That's funny because I know I'm getting there on the river.
Not
He
just
knows.
that. Oh, he has the winning hand right now anyway. But he's just like, I own Arizona, not Kelly.
Boom.
Boom.
He's like,
Oh, and
Lego.
quite unlucky a number of times tonight.
And I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, baby, I got there. Bet. And then I just hit the magic river card, or I thought.
Oh my.
So I thought.
She actually did turn a double gutter, guys.
And this sucks because it's 2.3. Yeah, the pot's
Turns a double gutter, although less
the pot's so big, but like after he raises, like what can you beat?
but it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like just not like
But
hand
you-
strength
I like-
wise, just like if he's willing to put his chips in to get your last 3.4K, you're just like, this is not good.
I know. It
Not
was
straight
so
up.
gross. And I like tanked for a minute on this hand, but it was like so stupid.
And Kelly with only 3,400.
This is like
How can she fold?
Look at, I'm like so annoyed. I'm like,
Yeah.
why did I bet so much? It's so stupid. Now I have to call.
I don't know, like you'd bet small on the river. I mean, and then fold to a raise. Is that
300 in the
is that a
No.
thing?
to the river is
Maybe.
It's especially to Garrett Adelstein. I mean, I don't know. It's just like a lot of theoretical things with Garrett Adelstein's like, okay, what if he soul reads you and you're just like, you can't do anything.
So annoying. He runs so good against me. And I know everybody says that, but
Yeah.
literally, like, hands like this have happened with me and Garrett so many times.
It's like, but
It's fucking nuts. Like, I remember I played, this was in 1022, I like flopped the set or like the nuts or something so strong. I was just and he was betting so big. I was just check call. And like runnered some like ridiculous hand against me for like my entire stack. And I was like,
man. Shouts
how?
inducing
Why? When?
inducing to lose
How?
maximum. What
Frick.
are you thinking? What are you
I'm
thinking?
just like, I cannot believe I'm in this spot right now. Like, what the fuck? That's what I'm thinking.
There's multiple time chips. So Machine Gun Kelly, how did that happen?
Okay,
name.
so Machine Gun Kelly happened in the 2018 main event. I think it was like day 4, day 5 maybe day 3. I don't remember. It was like a couple days into the main. And there was this crazy Euro guy on our table. It was late in the day. And I feel like, first of all, like I told you before, like once you get into the multi-day, like deep in the main event, it's mentally exhausting.
Sure.
Like your brain shuts off.
Sure.
Especially for like a lot of amateurs. Like there's no way you can like keep up with the amount of like mental
Endurance.
thought process and endurance. Yeah, it's just so tough. And so I feel like if you're a really good poker player, you know like at the last stages of like those late days, you rev it the fuck up. Like there's just so much money to be made, like
Yeah.
directly and indirectly by like playing really aggressively in the late stages where people are just like, I just want a bag, I want to go to sleep.
Right.
Seriously, like, because I
believe
feel
you,
that way.
yeah.
And so I was at this table where this guy, like this Euro, like
This effing Euro,
button
right?
clicker, like literally took the same aggressive line, like in multiple hands, like in like a couple orbits. He was just like raising pre, bet, shove. Raising pre, bet, shove. And so like I saw this pattern and I was like, okay, knowing like the intensity of like his bets.
All right, time out. Like,
Okay.
boyfriend, you got to put a ring on it. This is just like the doors.
Boyfriend.
Put a ring on it. Okay, go on.
So, you know, I found a pattern in what he was doing, and I told myself, like, okay, I know there's a lot of money on the line, but like, if I'm in a hand with him and I have something, I'm going to, I'm going with it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be afraid. I know what he's gonna do before I even get there. Like, if I have a piece of the board and he's got me beat, then so be it. But like, if he doesn't, I'm going, like, I'm not scared. And that's like a big part of my game is like not letting like the potential win like affect my like the heart I have and like the decision making. Like I don't want to be like, oh well there's a pay jump or like oh like there's so much money on the line. Like fuck that. I'm
So-
playing to like play every single hand to
As
the
well
best
as
of
you
my
can.
ability.
Yeah. So
And so when I pick up on this pattern, I'm like I can use this to my advantage.
So this hand's huge. Like Antoine raises early with queen ten of diamonds, and then you smooth with kings. Harrison comes along, and this is like just like such a crazy hand. So Antoine flops the nuts. He bets, you call. Turn's gonna be hard. I think it's 8 hearts. Yeah, it's 8 hearts. Do you remember this hand?
Yes.
Yeah. This is just like, oh my gosh. It's a like.
But genuinely, like I thought I had the best hand.
That's what I figured when I watched this hand.
Like, I didn't think, I knew there was like a very small chance that I was beat, but like,
Yeah. He has
I
to have,
was
like-
honestly shoving river for like value. Like, I
Right.
didn't think he had queen 10, obviously.
We just need to hear that because, like, I've heard, like, obviously, I'm one of the easiest people to find on the bike. So when people just like ask me about a certain hand on camera, I'm just like, this is my best guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll get her on a podcast and like ask her, and we finally got her.
No,
this was, like-
I genuinely thought I had the best hand.
This
Like,
was-
when he folded his hand, I was like, you're dumb. Like, why would you do that?
Antoine, she doesn't mean it.
But, you know, I know I played it kind of screwy, and I like playing hands,
Sure.
like,
Don't be
definitely
predictable.
out of the box.
Yeah,
And that's part of my
OTB,
style.
on
yeah.
the button and out of the box.
And so, yeah, like, you know,
This
it
is
was
just crazy because, yeah, I mean, his hand strength is just too strong. It's a, I don't know, but you know, maybe
I have
live read.
fucking,
I
I
don't
have
know.
a set of kings, and I slow played it pre-flop, so, like, obviously I'm gonna think that my hand's good, and, like, if he has a flush, or, I didn't think he had a flush based on how he played the hand,
Right.
so, like, the only hand that beats me is, like, aces or queen 10. So, like, I kind of, like, don't really think
Ace
he has.
queen of hearts, ace 10 of hearts. I don't know. I mean, there's other combinations. This is rare.
That, I'm saying that beat me, though.
Yeah,
Like, on the
there's
turn-
3 hearts on the board.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying like ace queen of hearts. Yeah, but why
Yeah.
is he checking to me then? I just don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he's
you're
playing
right,
the
yeah.
hand like that. I don't think I like eliminate the flush based on how he played the turn.
Right.
So like the only hand he has is a set of aces and queen 10, which I like essentially didn't think. I thought
Queen
the
10's
likelihood
hard to
is
have.
really unlikely.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, is ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, ace whatever, jack 10, whatever, queen jack, whatever. And so I felt really good about my hand. Obviously I was wrong, but it ended up working out.
She's like, yawn, trivial.
Anyway. But yeah, so back to the main
Lab
event
again.
hand with the machine gun Kelly.
Right.
So this guy raises like the cutoff or the button. I call with like king 8 suited. I flop like an 8, which is like second pair. And he bets. I call. The turn was like, brings like a double flush draw and an overcard. I think it was like a queen or something. He bets again. I call. And the river was like a blank, and I check, and he shoves, and I called because I already had committed to doing this before the hand played out.
You had the strat read.
I had the read, and I was like, you know, obviously in those spots, like sometimes they have it, and I was willing to take the risk of
Right.
knowing that like there's a chance he can have me beat, and I'm okay with going out this way because I've taken the steps to like find a pattern, take the opportunity, and not be afraid. And so people really like read into it like it was some crazy play, but they didn't know the background of like what came to my decision making
It's
of
so
like
hard.
knowing.
Right, because it's like when you see a hand in the vacuum, you don't know like that session or how many years of history. Like some people I've been playing with for like 15 plus years. You know, like what the hell do you think is going on in our heads? Like we
sure.
still want to skin each other. Don't get us wrong.
For
you know?
sure.
5. 11,500.
So this was like a crazy complicated hand, and it's like sometimes people play looser on stream. I don't know if this is one of them, where it's like a lot of money went in pre-flop, and you can call with king 8 off in the small blind. And of course, if you know the table really well, you could just like play 2 cards. You know,
For
you don't
sure.
need like a real hand.
Are you talking about this hand on the stream right now?
Yes, this hand on the stream. So there is I think 2 straddle. No, maybe it's either 1 straddle or 2. Okay, Nick definitely. Shout out to Nick Fertucci, under the gun
I
straddle.
love Nick's a sweetheart too.
Yeah,
Like
no.
we were in the trenches like years ago, like before anyone knew who I was. Like I played with Nick, I played with Garrett. Is Walter still around? Shout out to like the Commerce Regs, because I love Walter and I miss Walter. I haven't seen him in years.
I'm so bad with names, but it's just like
Walter's the best.
I've like played with like so many people over the
Or
years.
Obama.
Obama, yeah, I know. Obama. Like when people hear Obama, they think Barack Obama. I'm like, no, the
no,
Korean
no,
dude,
the
Korean
legit
dude.
Obama.
We define legit so differently from the rest of the world. You remember Juan Lee? Juan? Like the guy, the Korean dude that like used to have stacks of pink chips and like flips, and he passed away from cancer. Like I had Andy and I talked about him on the podcast.
I'd have to see him.
You 100% know him
Did
because
he have a fro?
I don't think so. He had like short buzz hair.
Stick around as well.
No,
Oh,
I'm not thinking
alright.
of him.
I know you have to know who he is. Anyway, it's checked around the turn, and then you sneaky check again,
Sneaky, sneaky, what's up?
and then Garrett's gonna bet Andy with a pair and a flush draw. Definitely not going anywhere.
Do I raise here?
You
Like
check. You exercise your option to check and raise,
Small check raise from Kelly here. This is a 2.5x raise over a half pot size bet with 2 other players in the pot.
and then Garrett is like.
Usually,
He's on to me.
So you guys have. I didn't even realize you guys had so much history.
We have a lot of history. Like we've played hands together.
It's like dating history.
And I think he folds the river here. No, like I have a lot of respect for
Joking, yeah.
Garrett, and I think
Sure.
his I think what make
we can see, for example,
the one
flush draw
characteristic that makes a good poker player that's like innate
5 to 1.
is just instinct.
Draw to his
And some people have it and some people don't.
He's got it.
He's got it.
The-
He has got
The
it.
instincts in his head, he got it.
Whatever his instinct, whatever his like spidey senses are on fucking point.
Like when he's like, he's been in situations where I'm just like, there's no way you can even consider calling, but he just like knows the guy is freaking bluffing.
He just knows.
Even
like,
even if he doesn't call, it's just like
He
he
just
knows.
folds here knowing.
Kelly, any action on Garrett with
I
To-
think I'm pretty, or maybe he does call. I don't remember.
He,
But
he folds, but to be honest, this river wasn't exactly a blank. I mean, he loses, he doesn't improve, but also still loses to like a lot of stuff.
no, I know. But it's just it says a lot about his game and his discipline to be able to fold a hand.
He's got game.
You know, given like that the board is fairly wet.
Do you think Garrett's overrated or underrated?
larger size here on the river.
Do you know his reputation? He's just like, you know, LA
I
killer.
think it's a little of both depending on who you ask.
right.
Like I think some people think he's like a god,
Yeah.
and some people are like, nah, he's cheating. Like
Guys,
seriously,
he-
I've heard people who think he's cheating.
You know what's like crazy because it's like we played with him for like a long time and like we know his background. Just like it's some people it's just impossible. Oh, are we gonna get another bottle? You said okay. So a little background on this. Like
Little
Kelly didn't even want to drink. She's like, oh, I'm a lightweight. I don't really drink. I'm just like, dude, I'm just like whatever. If you want a bottle, we got it. You know.
True.
And now she's
Scroll
like,
down on the chat. Let's see who's talking about what.
oh, it's not.
Kelly, of course,
Let me open
represents
this one.
only hands that beat him.
Wayne, you're slacking.
Okay, I'm
Bro.
gonna down it. Like,
Bro,
dude, this is not a good thing to challenge me with drinking. I'll win.
when did I challenge you? What
You said
do
you said I'm slacking, you know. Anyway, down the hatch of this goes. Spoilers, Garrett's gonna lay this down. What are you thinking? You're like, please call, please call.
Yeah. I'm like, please, give me some money back. Eh.
Jack 8 of diamonds.
Garrett just knows, man. He knows. He's very, very good at poker. And he's got money to play.
Good fold.
Right. And he's like a very versatile player. Like he played online, he played live.
Mm-hmm.
He's and it's really hard to be a no limit specialist. J Bro says, "Hey Kelly, you beautiful." Just saying.
Hey, boo.
Snow Monkey loves the Kelly. Oops, sorry, next hand. I got distracted by the chat.
Kelly, did the guy in the main who went bet shove against you have the goods? No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He had a busted flush draw or something. Or like I don't remember. But like it was a really epic hand because after that whole like everyone swarms and it was like a massive pot. Like for the main event, like he went bet shove and we were both like 100 plus big blinds. Like we were deep.
That's a lot
And like
for
he
a
went
tournament.
bet shove and I was just like wow, like I felt so because I knew what I was doing before and it felt really good to like be reinforced that like I was on the right thing.
Right.
And like so he busted and like he looked like his face just like sunk and he looked sick to his stomach and then the dealer was like this older guy. He's like had to be in his 70s and he was like, "Yo," he's like, "Your new nickname's Machine Gun Kelly." He's like, "That
Sick.
was sick." And then
MGK.
that's how that name came from that one hand.
Right. Forever Machine Gun Kelly. Forget the rapper. Screw him. He got owned by Eminem anyway. So this is a tournament at the Bicycle.
This is the bike WSOP main event.
Right.
And this is where I got bluffed a bunch. He
And it's gonna
bluffed me.
happen.
Brendan played very well in this final table. But like I said earlier, like the fact that I called off like 24 big blinds with ace deuce or whatever it was, like and was so wrong and got lucky, like it really messed with me mentally.
I mean,
And I feel like, for
25%,
those
right?
the viewers out there though, like when you make a bad decision at like a final table or like a streamed event, like don't let that affect your future play. Because it's so easy to be like, fuck, like I fucked up, like everyone saw this. Like regardless of the outcome, like I did win the hand, but I knew it was terrible. And like every time I see that guy who I like sucked out on, I'm
Yeah.
just like embarrassed, because I'm
No, I
like,
do the
fuck, that
same
was
thing.
stupid.
I like Diamond Joe and Poker Stars. Like I played a lot with him at Commerce, and I just had the wrong read. I was like, "There's no way he has it," and I'm just like, he had top two pair. He just like, river to set. And
Right.
I still check raised him on the river, and he's like, "Wait, what are you doing? What the hell is this?" And I was like, I was so embarrassed. I'm still apologizing to this day. Something happened like over 5 years ago.
That's epic. But Andrew Hart said, Kelly, question, do you have any positive thoughts towards a second boom, even if it is a minor one once it gets legalized? I think no matter what, whether it gets legalized or not, like the ebb and flow of poker, the fact that like so many people are drawn to poker as it being like a fun game and like a competitive game,
That was a good fold. Yeah, 200s.
that like regardless, there will be like a trend upwards in poker, like no matter what, to a certain extent.
Shout out to Jared Jaffe. He's a funny guy. I mean, I don't know him, but like I read his tweets sometimes. And I think he had an interview with Joey Ingram. I think that shit was funny. Shout out to Alec Torelli's cousin. Wayne is the boom.
Wayne is the boom. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
What else do you guys want to hear about?
I don't know. Ask
Write
questions.
Write in the chat.
I had to beg her to come, and she like.
She did beg me.
I did beg. I'm like, Kelly, please.
Andrew Hart said Kelly has good instincts in general. Thank you.
Shout out to Eric Peterson. Shout out to Alex Torelli's cousin. Wayne is gorgeous. Thank you. Jim Klein. That's actually a good one.
Kelly, good analysis on Garrett. Yeah, Garrett is like, he's really exceptional. Because I think he's a deep thinker that has really good instincts, and that to have good instincts and be highly intelligent is not that common. And when you have that, it's like the secret sauce.
And he's just like buff. He's just like good looking. He looks like he could pick up a girl at a gym.
He's just not scared.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's the key to success in poker. You can't be scared. Scared money don't make no money.
Unless you're inducing bluffs.
Unless you're inducing bluffs. Boom.
Crazy Ray says he wants some nachos with extra jalapenos.
Yum.
You got
Seriously,
him
that's my
hungry.
favorite. Like the nacho cheese with the,
Do you want to get
like I want a
nachos outside?
jalapeno on every chip.
They
Does that
have
make
that
sense?
here. They have that here.
I know, but I'm saying that's
Okay.
what I want.
All right. Well.
Wayne, make it happen after this.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. Dude.
Promise me.
Yeah,
Pinky
promise.
It. Pinky
This
that
is so
shit.
Asian. This is so
Pinky
Asian.
that shit.
we just like pinky swore, and then she stuck her index finger like right in my face, like pinky that shit. Snow Monkey says Kelly's sexier when she swears.
Boom. I have a really big potty mouth, and people get like, it's funny because like when I swear at the table, some older men get like really uncomfortable. They're like,
All right,
language, lady, language.
This is such a brutal hand. So small blind gets big blind.
This is fucked up.
Brendan limps in, and like I when I watch this, I'm like, not so shots fired, but like I can't believe you folded. I felt like your hand strength was just really high on the ladder, you know.
Yeah, I just felt like I really didn't give him credit for just stone bluffing me or like merging his hand into a bluff.
Well, I mean, to be fair to him, he knew he was bluffing too.
Yeah, I think
probably
he
wasn't
knew
for
he was turning
value.
his hand into a bluff.
Right.
And like I didn't give him credit for being able to do that, and that was my mistake.
This, by the way, shout to Mark Newhouse, who was just here a couple hours ago, and I'm playing with Barry Greenstein mixed game, and like Mark Newhouse, I'm like, hey Mark, he's like comes by like Barry Wayne, blah blah blah, and just like I bluff a guy like 15 minutes later, and he's like, how did you like what like I'm literally talking to Mark Newhouse, who just came into town, and you think I'm not capable of bluffing?
Let me hold on. While you bring up Mark,
Yeah.
let me talk about Mark because it
All
was
right.
so funny because so my boyfriend just recently started like really playing poker seriously, and I've like been trying to, show him the ropes and like show him like some of the important spots and like moments in poker. And one of the ones I showed him was like the Mark Newhouse hand where he turned, I think he had pocket tens into a bluff in the main event final table.
Okay.
And I was just like,
Oh yeah, that one.
and
He was
so
against
many
Queens,
people
yeah.
were like just harped on the fact that like Mark like punted off this like it was like ICM suicide and
Yeah.
all this stuff, but I was like, this says so much about who he is that Mark Newhouse doesn't give a fuck. And that's sexy as shit. Like to see him take that line, like a lot of people were like, that's suicide, but I was like, wow, that takes so much
Yeah.
like that was epic. Like to this day, I remember playing at like Commerce. Like after that was like when I really started playing poker, and I'd be in Commerce and I'd like see him playing mixed games, and I was like, holy shit, that's Mark Newhouse. He's so sick. He's so sick.
I know Mark pretty well. I don't go like super all the way back with him, but definitely like, similar circles and just like battled a lot, even like three-handed. We tend to break the game heads up because like we know each other decently well and just like whatever. But definitely we battled three-handed some ridiculous like games, and things got wild. And like he gets so mad when I get a bluff off on the table or like off him. He like takes it so personally. I'm like, what? Like, you're Mark Newhouse. Like, you know how wild like you do things, and you're like taking it personally when I do things. It's like crazy.
I
I thought you would
think he's
call
awesome.
here, huh?
I really was so close to calling, but again, like, mind you, when I'm thinking about calling, like, I remember thinking, like, I think I'm good, but the fact that I made such a big error in the ace deuce hand, like,
Oh, it
messed
rattled
with me.
you.
It rattled me.
Right.
Like,
No, I totally
really,
understand.
really
Yeah.
rattled me.
I totally
And
understand.
I think a lot of people don't, like, obviously, if you're watching the stream, like, you don't understand that, like, that ace deuce hand, like, affected my entire play after that.
Yeah.
Entire play. Like, I was just like, fuck, like, I feel like I'm good, but, like, I felt like I was good with the ace deuce hand. I was, like, way wrong. And I'd rather, like, in a spot like this, like, not call off. And that's how I felt. I was just like, I'll just pick a better spot. And that was my mistake.
There are people like, Mark Newhouse, Bryce Yockey, with like epic bluffs, or just like whatever happens, result, whether it's favorable. And obviously on camera, it's such a small sample size that things could go good or bad. Even if the play was like, good or bad. And just like, because I know them so well, and like I've played like high stakes poker with them. So when they're doing something and the audience is like, was that a bluff or was that? I'm like, dude, it's a bluff. Like, it's not like when Newhouse is shipping tens there, it's a bluff. When Bryce Yockey ships jacks and on like an overpaired board, but he thinks he's like no good. He was against Cookie with queens. I'm like, it's a bluff. But that's because I know them,
So now Brendan has a lot more chips than Kelly.
True.
Kelly now, and now the dynamic is totally different.
Andrew Hart, love you long time, dude.
Love you.
She's
Love
like,
you.
Kelly can be a little more
like you have a lot of fans, but your fans are like
pressure on Kelly.
super pro Kelly.
My fans are the fucking best.
I'm
Like,
fans
I get
too.
the coolest, like, messages just being like, supporting me and saying like keep doing what you're doing and like you've inspired me and like I love that. Like obviously I can't respond to every single message, but
Sure.
I love when people come up to me and they're like, "Wow, like I think you're awesome and like I want a picture or like I want to talk to you or like what do you think of this?" And I would never discourage people from like coming up to me and talking to me or like asking for a picture or like
That's
whatever the case.
literally
Like
what I tell the audience. I'm just like, dude, these girls are like really nice. Just like don't be a creeper and just be like, I'm a
Yeah.
fan and stuff like that. And just like they're so nice. I'll take a picture of you, chat with you. It's like I'm literally giving you guys a green light.
for sure, for sure. And I think that obviously there's like a fine line between taking it to like a place that's uncomfortable
Right.
and like also being respectful of like our privacy and like there's a happy medium and I
Sure.
think if you want to like talk to us and engage and then like back off and be like okay like I've got my answer, I've got my question, I got my picture, whatever,
Right.
but like for the most part I really haven't had any like big issues with that, like a few instances, but like for the most part everyone's really great.
So this is the heartbreak. Obviously, you're going with tens three-handed. And we were proud of you making third place. You're definitely a fan
No, for
favorite.
sure.
How'd you feel? Like a lot of people like beat themselves up when they get like second or third. like, a big
Honestly,
finish.
like like I said, I've consistently like done well, and I've like made final tables, and I've done, I haven't had like a big win yet, but it's nice being able to like not really grind poker and like have results that I've had. Like when I had my biggest year, which is in 2015, I was working full time as a lawyer. Like, and
That's
I
great.
won Female Player of the Year that year, and I had like over 600,000 in earnings, and like made over six figures in like piece buying.
We're not worthy.
Like, I had an insane year, and I would like play tournaments, and I'd immediately like fly back and like have my work outfit in a bag and like dress at the like in the bathroom at the airport and like go straight to work.
That's crazy.
Like, I was grinding nonstop, and like I made almost 10 times the amount of my salary.
Why is your
In
nickname
poker.
not the Terminator? You're just Machine Gun Kelly? Or Miss
Boom,
Evil?
boom, 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 boom. I don't
Or
know.
you'd be like Sarah Connor. I think I mentioned, like, somebody said that, and I was like, she's like Sarah Connor. She like destroys Terminators. She's not
I
a
like
Terminator.
that. I like
destroys
that.
Terminators.
So anyway, yeah, like if any of you guys ever see me, like don't ever hesitate to come up to me or like talk to me or ask for a picture. Like I love engaging with my fans and hearing what they think of me and like what their opinion is or what advice they want, and
And we're out of wine. She made me
I
chug
enjoy
it.
that.
I was just like, we're getting nachos after this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Stay tuned for the after party or whatever.
Alex Montoya says, what do you think of Talking Stick in Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona?
Honestly, I don't really play a talking stick much. That is where I started, is playing a talking stick, and like I have a lot of friends there that play. But, they have a spread limit, which means that you can only bet $500 per street,
Yeah.
which is like kind of weird.
It used to, Bay 101 in NorCal used to be like that too.
Yeah, so like, and now that I've kind of transitioned into tournament poker mostly, like the drive isn't really there to go play cash. And when I'm home, since I travel so much, I just want to chill. So I really don't play poker in Arizona very much. When I travel, I'm focused on poker, and when I'm home, I enjoy like just relaxing and like chilling.
What do you do when you chill? Is it Netflix and chill, or is that like something else and chill?
I like to read, I like to watch Netflix, I like to just
Netflix and
not do
nachos.
shit.
and-
Yeah,
okay.
like I like to cook. I love to clean and organize. Kind of a nerd. But yeah, it's fun.
Dude,
like I
nerd
just
is
like
so
being
in.
alone. Nerd is the best.
In like early 21st century, nerd's so in. It's like
Nerd
crazy.
is so in.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, let's take some Skype calls.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it on. One last thing. Shout out, Amazing Abby says players like Kelly mean a lot to me. They gave me the confidence to make it in this world, especially you, Kelly. You've done a lot for ladies in this game. Really impressed by how you deal.
Amazing, Abby. That's so sweet. And like that, I get messages like that a lot. about from women who say like I've inspired them to play or I've inspired them to continue to play. And, you know, for people that are in high visibility, especially women in the poker world, it's really nice to feel that like validation that like we're bringing women into the poker community. We make them feel validated. We make them feel safe that they're able to play and be successful in a vastly male-dominated field. I think we really take for granted like how significant the male population is in poker. Like in the main event, women represented 4% of the field. 4%. Like that's nuts. And so to be able to help women feel comfortable playing poker or coming into poker is like exceptional for me. Like I love that, and if I'm able to do that, I want to continue to do that.
Okay, I asked Amazing Abby. She wants to call in.
Call in, girlfriend.
Call in. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get the. I'm like so disorganized. Kelly's like seen me. I'm like 4 responsibilities going at the same time. Abby, I'm gonna message her and. Oops, that's not her. All right, we're gonna take this one.
Can we make a rap off this Skype music? Boom, boom, boom.
708. This is live at the bike.
Abby?
This is Tim. No, I think this is Tim.
Tim?
I don't know. Who is this? Who is
The
this?
bathroom's cleaned up.
What's up? Who is this? Oh, what's screwed up? I don't even know. My graph is screwed
Why
up.
would you hang up on us, Mack?
I don't know. One guy actually called in, was like, "Is this Wayne?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, wrong number." You get prank call, dude. It's insane. I told Abby to call in. I put the LATV number in the mix. So.
Let's go in that. Let's booty pop to that Skype music.
Well,
Boom,
in the next
boom,
call in.
boom.
We're gonna booty
Boom,
pop to the
boom,
Skype
boom.
music for like a couple minutes, and then if you calling station.
That's what I've been known as. Where's our music?
I don't know. Oh, Big Al Poker's in the mix.
Big Al! Oh my gosh!
He was asked him calling. He's busy. He's probably got a date or something.
Wait, okay, really quick. Can I go to the bathroom?
Sure. Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Let's see. 954. Who's this? I don't know.
Danny.
Danny?
What's up, Danny?
Yeah.
What up,
What's up,
baby?
MGK? I'm just
Danny,
chilling. What you
what's
guys
up?
doing?
We're just
Chilling.
chilling, drinking some wine, getting a little lit on a Monday night.
We're just chilling.
Damn, that's what's up. I just wanted to give you guys a call and say, fuck with y'all. Keep it up. Shit's dope.
Danny,
Not
we
much else.
appreciate you so much. You sound like you're really
Hell
legit.
yeah.
Am I right?
Yo, hell yeah. Chilling. I gotta
Are
go
you drinking
sleep,
with
man. I got
us?
work tomorrow.
Are you drinking? 'Cause
Nah,
we're
I'm like on the other spectrum right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. I feel you.
But, yeah, not much else going on. You know, hope you guys are having a good night. Yo, to be honest, didn't think that y'all were going to answer right away, so didn't even think about what I was going to say. Sure.
well, we did.
Well, we did, and we're here. What's up?
Yeah.
Not much, man. Not much.
Do a rap for Kelly. Do a
Should
rap.
I do a rap for Kelly?
Yeah, do a
Yeah.
freestyle. Let's go. Boom.
Damn, I need a beat, though. You going to give me a beat? One time for my girl, Kelly Minkin. Next thing she knows, she always
You'll be
be
drinking.
stinking. That's all I got.
That's all you
Oh,
got.
Sorry.
shit. That was great, Danny. You're legit.
He's legit.
Where are you
Yo.
from? Florida?
South Florida,
Where in South
Florida.
Florida?
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit. Are you playing the Lucky Hearts tournament in January?
Yeah.
You better say hi.
I might. It depends, though. I'm busy with work and whatnot. I don't know. I play poker, but I don't really play too many tournaments.
Oh, I feel you. So you're on the cash grind more so.
Yeah, I'm on the cash grind. I'm not too much of a baller, though. I like watching y'all on live at the bike because playing with way more money than I think I'll ever play for.
Are you going to
I
watch
like
on
keeping it
Wednesday?
casual.
Kelly's
Hell
playing
yeah.
Wednesday.
Okay, good.
What
Be in
what
the
are the
chat.
stakes?
What are the stakes?
Nah, I can't even, man. The chat is full of a bunch of animals. Fuck.
Come on, hold us down in the
bastard.
chat.
Yeah.
Hold us down in
If
the
you're
chat.
really a Kelly fan, for every diss that a chat pro makes on her, you gotta just like defend in her honor. Dude, like witty disses and like witty responses, defenses are like that's like legit. Hold on.
Yeah, give me some advice. What do you think?
Hey,
What
we
do you
got
think?
another call. We're gonna take this. Okay.
Yeah,
Shout out,
yeah.
Danny. Unknown person. Who does?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it's Abby.
What's up, Abby? Kelly just went to the restroom, but she'll be back. But thank you for calling in. She's 100% boss.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
How you guys? It's pretty good. You guys got a pretty good show going on tonight.
Oh, thank you.
So-
Almost as good as the Andy show. Andy crushed it.
No, shows are always good. Like anybody watching, like if you're not listening to Wayne's shows, you're really missing out. They're like on point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelly is like a really big inspiration to a lot of female poker players, just for like two reasons. One is like she is more than just a poker player. She has her law career too. She's an artist. I don't know if she's talked about that at all. And it shows.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But it shows like there's more. You can be more than one thing, right? Like poker doesn't have to be your sole influence.
Yes, she's a polymath.
And that's really cool to see.
It's like you go like.
That's really cool to see.
Yeah, hopefully she'll come back. Well, I'm gonna rob her. She left her purse and her phone's going off. I'm not looking into them either.
Yeah, take it, max out that credit card really quick.
Wait, hold on. Amazon.com. Tim1234. No, Abby's a super fan of Kelly, so we're going to let her chat with Kelly when she gets back. If she gets back, knock on wood. I'm just kidding. No, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't want to interject, Kelly, but there's like we can go on for like hours and hours with this wild animal.
Oh yeah, she's great for interviews, and she's really dynamic and just really charming and really charismatic.
She's back.
She's a great person.
Kelly, you have a fan, and she's up in the mix. It's Abby. She called in.
Oh my gosh, Abby!
Well, put on your headset and talk. Don't like talk to and only
Hi,
I can
Abby.
hear.
Hi, Kelly. I'm like really nervous to talk to you because I just think you're super awesome.
Oh
and
my gosh, don't be nervous.
Yeah, don't be nervous.
And what I really appreciate about you is like like every woman that's played poker has like dealt with bullshit from men, and kind of like everything from them being inappropriate to being told you don't belong here, but like you handle it in such a way that's like cool and also strong, and you don't like tweet about it too much or like make too much of a big deal about it. Like you handle it in the right way, and you also support women. I think that there's like some jealousy at the mid and higher levels, women, that I'm starting to notice now that I'm playing more mid stakes. Mm-hmm. That women have towards each other. Like I'm a cash game grinder, so like the regular women that I used to like, be friendly with at the lower stakes, well now at like 3-5 and 5-10, suddenly they're not so friendly, and there's like a new level of competition in there that there was as before. So I was just curious, like what your experience is, just like dealing with men at the table, and also like if you feel there's like some jealousy even within the super small percentage of women that play.
Yeah, Abby, that's a great question. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that with men, obviously, there's a lot of like awkward interactions and like varying from like weird to like aggressive to uncomfortable. And for me, like I feel like as a woman being in a male-dominated field, you kind of have to accept the position you're in. Like as shitty as it is, we know that like men perceive us differently and underestimate us, and like have certain judgments towards women that I feel like if instead of being upset about it and being like discouraged from playing, we can use that to our advantage by knowing that men perceive us a certain way and using that you know, in our thought process and like figuring out how we want to play hands and like how we want to act and like, you know, how our response is to their like aggression or their like frustration or whatever. Like, I enjoy being able to handle men, like at a position where they feel like they have an advantage against me. Like, there's some satisfaction in being able to like beat, just straight out outplay a man and him get frustrated and I can like blow him a kiss or wink at him and he just like, I can feel his like blood boiling. Like, I love that. And so to be able to like switch it in a positive direction where like I can feel like, you know what, it doesn't feel great, but like I know that I can use it to my advantage, feels really, really good.
Call got dropped. I don't think she's done, so let's wait for her.
And what was the other thing she was about women being jealous? You know, fortunately for me, I haven't had much of that experience. Like, for the most part, a lot of the women I've met have been super supportive and been amazing, have been, you know, really like exceptional poker players. I think there's a small percentage of people who are jealous, but like, I think that comes with the territory. Like, regardless of like male or female, like if you're a strong force in your career. No, it's okay. I think this is Abby, right? Abby, are you there?
No, this is not happening.
Oh, okay. Who is this?
This is Gabby. Gabby Music.
Gabby?
Gabby Music.
Okay, talk.
What's up, Gabby?
What's up?
¿Qué hace mi amor?
I'm hearing more.
Mi amor. Let me guess, you don't know Spanish.
Te amo.
Yes, mi amor. Te amo, mi amor.
He adores the amor.
¿Cómo está la champagne?
Champagne.
¿Está bien?
¿Cómo está?
¿Está bueno?
Muy bien.
What kind is it?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, wow. Qué bueno.
It's
Pero no
Robert Mondavi.
no tan bueno como tú.
You see? It's good.
Que no tan bueno como tú.
Como tú?
Yeah. It's good, but it's not as good as...
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, hey, sorry, it got disconnected, but I heard pretty much everything she said. And I just wanted to thank Kelly, because, like, that's exactly how I feel. Like, when you're able to, like, a guy views you as super weak, and so, like, they're calling you down super light, and you know that they're doing it. There's no, like, greater feeling than to, like, have them show, like, pocket fours, and you have, like, a full house. You know, stuff like that. It just feels really great and vindicating, especially after they're like, oh, you suck, you're so bad. And I kind of see that a lot of men either think women are super tight or they're like aggro and loose and don't have anything. And that's, as a woman, I see that as a huge advantage. And yeah, kind of like the winking and smiling. And I always see Kelly handle things that way. And I like that. That's like really inspiring, and it kind of turns the tables on them rather than, you know, before there was times like it hurt me when I first started playing. It hurt a little bit. So
Yeah, I think you make a great point, and it's all, for me, at least, like, and this translates to just my life in general. I feel like it's all about perspective, and if you can twist it in a way that's positive, that it'll always benefit you. So, like, if people are hating on you, or people are being negative, or people are, you know, it's really about, like, how can I use this to my advantage? And how can I use this in a way that can help benefit me and, like, make me money? And so if you see it as a game and like all in the construct of a game, it's fun, you know? Like, yeah, like a lot of the players that we're playing against underestimate you, so like that's good for me. If I am good at what I'm doing and people think that I'm not, then like how can I leverage that information to like my advantage? And I feel like that's like the gamesmanship and the strategy that really is like the intricacies of poker that really draw me to the game.
And of course, it like translates to law a little bit too, because it's another field where women, depending on the field of law you're in, where there's more men than women. So it translates there too, right? So there's some overlap.
Yeah, especially like, I've gone into court before and I've had judges mistake me as the paralegal, as like a young female. Like, people don't take me seriously, especially as like a medical malpractice defense attorney, which is like very seasoned. Like, it's a very specialty field that a lot of younger people in general, not necessarily women, but just people in general, tend to have like 10 plus years of experience before they even get into that field. So to see someone who's in their 20s as a lawyer in that field is like really rare, especially as like a woman in their 20s. So like knowing that I am like a rarity in that field like makes me feel good. And so when I get misrepresented by like a judge or a peer or whatever as someone who's like lower than what I actually am, like that empowers me because I'm like, wow, like I look or I'm perceived as like a paralegal, but really like I'm at the ranks of like these people that have been doing this for 30 years, or the guys with the gray hair that like, see me as someone who would like get them coffee. Like I'm doing what they're doing. And so like,
and
I'm doing it better than them.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And that's just like amazing, and that's part of the reason why I think me and other women that play poker admire you so much, especially because I think there are some women in poker, like some of the women that I play with, that like, oh, women are at a huge disadvantage, and there's no way you can twist it. Like you're gonna have to deal with this, and just like if guys call you, words I'm not gonna say because you'll get demonetized, but like. You have to deal with it. It's just part of the life. It's part of the game, and like I kind of refuse to accept it. Yeah. So like I'm like there has to be a better way than just take it. It's just to surprise people. It's to be quiet and exploit. And it's really awesome and super cool too. And I also like, I think it's great that you're not just in poker too. A lot of the players these days, what we see are people that is like their whole lives are poker. And it's cool to see that you have other interests too that aren't just poker, because I do too. So it's like, I want to play poker at a high level, but I also, have I'm an artist, so like I also want that piece of me to be there too. And it's cool to see that like you do the law and you're doing poker at the same time.
Yeah, and I think also as like women, I think we tend to be able to be like multifaceted and able to like translate our skills into other subsets. So like, I can relate to you being an artist where like, I take the lessons I've learned from poker and I translate it into my personal life, or I translate it into other aspects of things that I do professionally. And I feel like, that's one thing that I think men have a little bit more difficulty doing. And as women, like, we're intuitive and we're able to translate these skill sets into other avenues of our lives. And that's where we do have an advantage, not only from there, but also, like, intuitively, I think women are more prone to, like, have gut instincts that they can listen to and, like, help them in poker and other areas of professionalism that really help us. And so it's like, to me, I'd much rather be underestimated than overestimated, because if you're underestimated, you have the ability to like sneak up and like trap people into like what you want them to do.
Yeah, and there's too many advantages in being overestimated. And I've always said, I don't know if you agree with this, but I'd rather play the table of all men than the table of all women. Like
100%.
Like 1,000%. Yeah. Those like the ladies event at the World Series of Poker, like that's like one of the toughest events. People just don't realize it.
Yeah, it really is. I totally agree with you, Abby. Like I haven't cashed in the ladies event once, and it's such a tough crowd because it's really hard for me to like, with men, like I'm so used to playing with men and used to like understanding their thought process and being able to like pinpoint like their mistakes and pounce on their weaknesses. And with women, it's so much more difficult because every woman is like individualized in like her style and like how their play is, and like there's no way to really interpret like live tells like it is for men, where it's like kind of translates across the board. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and I've heard other women say that. And the other thing I just wanted to ask you is like, what do you think? What's like a piece of advice you would give to like a maybe not even someone that's like a current female grinder, but like a girl that's just getting interested in the game, like that's new. Like I always say, like you're gonna get, like unfortunately, like part of the game, you're gonna get like harassed and weird sexual comments, and like don't let that stop you from playing. That's kind of what I tell my friends, like that it's just an important part of it. But like, what else would you tell someone that's like kind of brand new playing live for the first couple of times?
I mean, I'm gonna touch on the fact of the fact that for a poker player in general, you have to have confidence, and I think a lot of women struggle with having that confidence just because of how women are brought up and how we're taught to behave and how we're taught to act. And so if you don't have that confidence level, I wouldn't suggest someone with like being insecure, like unsure of themselves really going into poker, because that will only solidify those insecurities. So once you feel like you have the confidence to be secure in whatever decision you make, regardless of what people think, then you should play poker, and then you can like expound on that.
Exactly.
But without that confidence and like ability to like not care what people think or not care about people's criticisms, it's really hard to like do it without it affecting you in a negative way. So before I would suggest like any woman in general to delve into poker in a serious way, you really need to work on your self-confidence and be able to like stand strong with whatever decision you make. Even if it's wrong, be like, okay, I understand that it's wrong and I can learn from it, but in that moment I felt like it was right, and that's okay that I made a mistake. Because I think a lot of women like beat themselves up about like, oh, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. And you know what the reality
100%.
is? Like, you're gonna make mistakes, and as long as you learn from it and move forward, and then the next time you're in that position, still be just as confident, but use that lesson learned, that like you'll be unstoppable. But that's not as common as I would hope for women in poker.
I think so too. I actually, like, one thing that started making me feel more confident is I dress up. Like, I used to just go in, like, sweatshirts and a hoodie. And I was like, I'm going to, like, dress up, do makeup, put heels on, and, like, play, like, feel looking my best. And, like, I had one of my best sessions ever. And I think, like, oh, look, like, that gave me confidence. And, like, yeah, I got weird comments about it. But having that confidence, that somehow dressing like that instilled, like, extra confidence in me. Usually, like, I, like, get comfortable. I was like, I'm going to see what happens if I dress in an outfit that makes me feel most confident. And so it was interesting the effect it had on my game, too. And I do think you're totally right. Like, and men, too, like, it's really, if you don't have that confidence, it's just not, you're going to struggle. You need that confidence in your outside life. Otherwise, it's going to translate into poker, I think, too. So that's awesome. That's really good advice.
Yeah,
we're lucky to have you. Like,
Thanks,
poker is
bro.
super lucky to have you. And, it's and I know that you can't talk on like the case, but like people like think you're a superhero for the Mike Pop thing. So you're like kind of like an icon for everyone right now. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and answering my questions. So
Of course, Abby, and I appreciate you calling in. So take care.
all right, thank you. You guys have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Nachos.
Not Joe. Not
What a sweetheart. Cheers to Abby.
Cheers to Abby.
You're a sweetheart, Abby. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. And for all the girls that are listening, or the girls that have other women that want to play, like, it's really about, like, not giving a fuck. Like, really, that's what it comes down to, whether it's, like, in poker or whether it's in your career. Like, don't worry about what other people's opinions are of you. Nine 978-697-398.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you guys hear me?
978, who's this?
Hi, my name is Sid.
Hey,
AKA
Sid.
Sid Thinks in the chat.
Sid Thinks,
Hello,
what
hello.
up?
Which
I'm a chatter, and now I'm on the show.
Sick.
So it's like, it's not rigged, guys. Yeah. This is
not
awesome.
rigged. It's just that when the zone talking, like, or if there's like a VIP guest, then like when.
True.
Then we gotta.
Anyways, yeah.
What up, Sid?
I just wanted to say, Kelly, I have a huge crush on you, and I know you have a boyfriend. But thank you for being a cool person. And in terms of a question, I guess this is like a question for like most of us, like regs, I guess, that are stuck in like the 1-3-2-5 like pit of hell, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, what is the path forward? You know, like how do we get out? Like, how do we play 5-10 and 10-20 and like, you know, the big shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, if you want me to be honest with you, I think that nowadays the higher stakes games are so tough that it's a really big jump from like 1-3 and 2-5 to 5-10 and 10-20. It's such a big gap. And to really be competitive at those levels, not only do you have to have a strong bankroll, but you also have to have the skill set. And in order to have the skill set, you have to do the work. And in order to do the work, you have to be able to study and to be subscribe to the training websites. I'll tell you the two websites that I use are Run It Once and Raise Your Edge. I use both of those websites and they help me immensely. If you want to work on your poker game with respect to like reading material, my first suggestion would be Poker Math That Matters by Owen Gaines. That was the first poker book I read that really helped elevate my game. And I would also use The Mental Game of Poker by Jared Tendler. That helps with like the emotional aspect of poker, which I think is vastly underrated for like, you know, beginning players, in the sense that like your mental attitude and like how you perceive the game and how you perceive variance and like how you handle swings is so integral in like your success in poker. So if you want to be better, like focus on not only being able to handle it mentally and emotionally and like strengthen your emotional IQ, but also like work on the fundamentals of the game by doing the training websites, understanding what the population tendencies are, understanding what your opponents are thinking, and being able to like adjust your play based on that information.
Gotcha. Dude, that's a lot of
What she said.
insight, man.
What she said.
Hey, you took the time to call in, Sid, so I want to give you as much information as I can.
Yeah, I mean, freaking.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate it. I want to give other people a chance to also call in, but thanks for taking my call, and peace out, guys.
Thanks,
Of course,
Sid.
Sid. Take care.
Chat's so.
Sid was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sid,
Shout out
man.
to Sid.
Shout out to Sid.
Dude, like, chat's so funny. Like, ingrown toenails, LOL, says Wayne getting ready to take Kelly for a meal.
Boom! We gotta finish the second bottle of wine. Cheers to that, baby.
Before the pod, she was just like,
I was like, only one bottle. And then we finished the bottle, and I was like, this shit's kind of good.
popping bottles, podcasting Kelly. Oh, man. Blueberry Nug says I'm so in right now.
Blueberry Nug is
so
my...
in the podcast.
Call Blueberry Nug, call in.
619, who dis?
Hello? Is this,
Hey,
is
what
this,
up, baby?
Is this Wayne and Kelly?
This
Yes.
is. No, it's not Wayne and Kelly. It's Kelly and Wayne.
Boom!
Listen, man, thank you for taking my call, Wayne.
Of course, dude.
I have to say, Kelly, you look so nice tonight. Wayne, you look great with your shirt. Kelly, and this is not a troll. Is there any way you can just show us those jeans one more time? Please do it for the chat. Do it for the people. Shout out to everybody in the chat. That's all I'm asking for, please. And my next question would be, Kelly, you get a bad rep. You're great for poker. You're a lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. Why in the world do these guys ever call you Stinking Minkin? Why would they ever say that? Those are my only questions. Why do they call you that?
Money, baby. I don't know.
Wayne.
You have to understand.
Wayne,
what's your name again?
My name is Tim. I'm in the chat. You can see me. Tim Triple T, whatever the hell it is.
So I want to let you know something, okay?
It's Tim 1 2 3 to the 4.
Tim, let me explain something to you.
It's this guy.
When you rise to the top, the level of haters increase.
Yes, that's
so
true.
the more that people talk shit about you, that's a sign that you're doing all right.
Yeah, look how many people say Garrett.
If no one was talking shit about me, I'd be worried.
You'd be just, yeah, that's, wow. That's
Kelly, you just did it for the people. I got one. Can you just do it one more time? I mean, that what you just did right now was probably the greatest thing that ever happened on PokerCraft. The people want to see it one more time.
When she does
Thank
that
you,
at-
Wayne. Thank you, Kelly. Good job. I love
She
you
did it for
guys,
the
man.
fans.
Way to
Love
go.
you, Tim. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Kim.
It's Tim, fool.
Tim. I know, it's Tim 1, 2, 3 into the 4. I shout him out. He's a reg.
Tim, TTT, 1, 2, 3. What up,
He's
baby?
a set of 10s. He's like
Is that what that
TTT.
means?
I don't know. You're like totally like Princess Leia now with the headset, the white, and just like the in your face.
What up? I want to get like a grill.
Why?
I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
You could do whatever you want. You're tricking Kelly Minkin, dude.
MGK, what up?
When you slow play Tim.
Become a great poker player by losing a million hands.
Anybody else want to call? I had to like, dude. Stars had to line to get her here. Stars had to line. Like I gotta always like be like, yo, Max, send her over.
You guys, okay, listen up. Listen up. Wednesday at
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
But you need to be here earlier than that because the stream's
We will be playing at live at the bike.
Mack for Static Firm.
I will be messing up.
I hear Marley's coming too. Oh my goodness, what a grin. I still remember I watched the Joey Pods. I'm a religious fan of the Joey Pods. What's your favorite Joey Pod?
I'm not going to lie to you guys. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of poker. I don't know. I don't know much.
Don't throw me in the bus yet. I'm just kidding. My favorite Joey Ingram podcast is, or just video on his YouTube. This doesn't count as a podcast. How to Get More Women in Poker. Have you seen this?
No.
It is amazing. I don't even want to spoil it, but it's just like, he's just like, how to get more women in poker. Talk about your tournament scores, like how high stakes you play, the famous poker players you know.
This is the thing. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this, right? Like, women are not designed in our society to play poker.
Neither are men, unfortunately. Unknown person. Who is this? Hello? Unknown person?
Hello?
Oh, we just got...
Oh my god, he got nervous. Aww.
Are you sure? I think he just wanted to prank call or hang up on us.
Somebody prank call us. That would be awesome. Someone named Seymour Butts call us.
I know Seymour.
Seymour!
Me and Seymour go way back.
Mary had a little lamb.
Oh, I have a question. Do you...
What's your question? Quick.
No, we'll tell later. 614, who dis? This is Live at the Bike with...
Hello?
Yo, what up?
What up?
Hey, Wayne, you are so in right now.
Wayne.
You are so in.
I am definitely not
I feel like you need this
my
one
God,
button.
no. I'm not getting a lawsuit on
This
me.
is
A lawsuit.
this is Blueberry Nugs from
Oh, what's up?
Oh my god,
OHIO.
Blueberry Nug, let's go! You're my
What's up?
favorite.
Great
Blueberry Nug.
Great
You're
show,
my
guys.
favorite.
Thank you, thank you.
Wait, where do you live, Bloop?
Ohio.
What?
Ohio, what's
You're too
up?
far. Come,
Yeah.
come, drop a Blueberry Nug with us.
I wish it was legal out
Hey,
here,
do you
though.
know
I go out to Vegas a lot.
Blueberry Nugs? Do you know JP Falter? He like plays on the show sometimes. He's from Cincinnati, or I don't know.
No, I don't know
Cincinnati,
him.
Ohio. Also, Irvin Tomas. He's in Ohio too.
You realize that Ohio's a full state. Like, he's not
But
gonna
the
know
poker
two
community is
people.
very small. It's already small. in
I'm
LA.
We
sorry,
don't have a
Blueberry
poker
Nug.
community out here.
He's not very smart.
For an Asian.
Do you know Hank from Vegas?
Oh yeah, Hank. Me and Hank go way
Yeah,
back.
Korean guy.
No, I'm joking. I have no
He
idea.
doesn't know him.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But question for you, Kelly. Let's say if you go on a really bad run for 2 or 3 weeks, just keep losing money. What do you do
That's
after
happened
that?
multiple times. 2 or 3 weeks, that's like a good time.
Yeah, like really bad run. Do you take a break or go on vacation or?
Okay, so what I typically do is I have like a certain set of tournaments that I'm gonna play, and regardless of the outcome, I just play it.
And then
You stop playing poker completely, or?
I haven't, knock on wood, ever gone on a downswing enough to like have to quit. But that doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. Typically, like, I'll
Yeah,
be on, like,
just-
a big downswing and I'll be, like, almost broke and then I'll, like, win a 6-figure score. It's happened, like, 3 times.
You ever go to like the backrack table and start hitting big after losing so much money,
Never.
or
I will tell you,
like high
listen,
limit
listen up.
slots?
Blueberry, listen up. Stay out of the fucking pits. If that's anything you take away from this podcast, stay out of the fucking pits. It's the devil. Don't go in there. Did you hang up on him?
No.
Blueberry,
No,
are
I'm
you
still
there?
here.
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah,
She doesn't trust
it's just
me
her
at all.
DJ ways, you know. Sometimes you just go DJ.
Don't degen.
Don't degen.
I'm telling you, this is the best advice you'll ever get from me is do not enter the pits. You hear me?
I'll try.
BB Nugs.
Don't get in there. Don't even look that way. It's toxic. It's the devil. It's bad.
I'm not even going to... I mean, I agree with you.
Do you agree?
I absolutely agree with you, but I'm also in the casino industry, so I allegedly can't say much.
I never
If you wanna
gamble
play-
blackjack. I don't go in the pits. I play poker and that's it. I don't spend my money doing anything else. Like if for fun, like if I'm with friends, I'll throw a couple $100, but I don't gamble in the pits. It's bad. It's a bad habit. It never results in anything
Yeah.
good.
It develops
Don't
bad
do it.
habits.
It's such a bad habit. Like honestly, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, BB
Don't
Nugs.
do it.
Don't do
Don't
it,
do
BB
it.
Nugs. Dude, show off your nails. They
I know, but I get so much free perks from a casino by doing that. You know how much
I know.
free perks it takes for poker to grind for poker?
There's a
But
reason
why do you think that is?
Yeah,
Because they're
exactly.
making money
That
off
is
of
true.
you.
They're paying you back with your money.
They're like, oh yeah, give us a bunch of money and we'll give you a free hotel so you can give us more money.
Yeah.
And buffet too,
Yeah.
and free shows.
Fuck all that shit. We're here to make money. Go play poker, grind that shit, make some money, and then you can pay for your own hotel.
Robert Donaldson says Kelly is keeping it real.
Am I not?
That is very true. Well, thanks again, guys. Nice chatting with you.
You're welcome. Take
Shout
care,
out to
Blue.
Blueberry Nugs. BBN.
Bloobs. Cheers to Bloobs.
Cheers to Bloobs. I shout him out all the time.
I did tell him to call in and he did. I respect that a lot.
Good. Like, a lot of guys are really shy to, like, call in.
I know.
I
Call
got-
in, guys. We've
Like,
been streaming for like 2 hours.
It's longer. It's like 2.5.
What?
Like, I have a lot of, like, 3+ hour ones, and I just have to, like, cut it short. Or we can go on whatever, however long.
What do you guys want? You want us to cut it? Scratch offs.
it out.
Don't do scratch offs. You guys don't gamble. If you want to play,
It's
like get an adrenaline rush, play poker. Just bluff a hand.